Welcome back, one and all. The moon is high and smiling down on all of us as we are joined for yet another adventure here in the Eternal Night. This is Notte Eterna. I am Kevin, your host and your Dungeon Master this evening. We are playing yet another tale in the Eternal Night with these cool players that are around me. This is part 4 of our current arc 4, so it's 4 of 4, where we are going to be wrapping up a story tonight having to do with fate versus free will, a little bit of some time traveling hijinks, the party didn't know what they were getting into, but they're here for it anyway, so we appreciate that. If this is your first time hanging out with us, cool, welcome. Take a look around. Please enjoy the view and stay for the cool role-playing. If you're back, thanks for coming back. We love you guys, and we do it for you, so thanks for being here. Before we begin, let's make sure we get a shout out to Jason Forbes and to Ali Rebelli, who published this awesome game and are letting us play. You can find information about them on the link tree, which is right above Annika's head, and also down below in the about section of the Twitch page here. But it's a really cool game, a new 5th edition campaign setting that had a very successful Kickstarter a few months ago and will be coming to print very soon, so you want to get in on that pre-order before it does so. We're going to finish our tale tonight, and we're going to tell some really cool stories. So let's meet these players, shall we? We're going to start right here. She already got mentioned just a minute ago because she's got a cool link above her head. Annika returning. Annika, tell the fine folks hello. Tell them who you're playing tonight and give us one little blurb, an umbrella pitch, I guess you could say, for Elora.
Yes. Well, my name is Annika, and I am on socials as Anine Wanders. Tonight, I will be playing Elora, who is a sweet lamb of a Kurash knight. And I think that's all I would say. Yep, that's my one-liner for her.
I love it. Yes. Very glad to have you back. The Kurash Knight specialty wizard that is new to this campaign setting. So, you can learn about that in the thing we mentioned in the link tree. See, it's all interconnected. So, Annika, thanks for coming back. I'm really looking forward to telling your tale tonight. So, thanks for being here.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm. Jump on over to the other side of me. Oh, I actually did it right when I pointed to Brian, returning as Sir Calibert. Brian, how are you tonight, my friend?
I'm doing well. I'm Brian. I'm online, socials, and other places as Helix Missionary, and I'm playing Calbert. He is a fated knight of Loun, still trucking along, still believing in the power of the sun god, who's been gone for 160 some years now, and we're bringing the light anyway.
Absolutely. I love it. It's times of the darkness is when it's the most important to carry the light. So I'm glad you're here to do that for us. Thank you, Brian. I'm looking forward to seeing how your tale comes to a close tonight as well. So thank you. Let's jump on down to the bottom. Normally we would have a 4th player in a spot where Izo is currently being taken up, but Izo didn't quite make it through the story, but she is here in our spirits with us. She was a Iraqian, new race for the setting, which are like beast folk type people. She was a bat folk, as you can see from her appearance. But yeah, Izo was with us, a druid, protector of the secret flame, and she lives on right there next to her buddy Ian. Hey Ian, how are you doing returning tonight, my friend? Nice heavy opening for you to follow up on. I'm a nice guy like that. So
yeah,
how are you?
Good. I'm just holding down the bottom row.
This
is my row.
That's it, my row now.
My row. Hey everybody, I'm Ian, or your boy Big on all social media, and I play Malik, the Dance Macabre Bard, who is in a weird space right now, right? little secrets came out last episode, and I'm actually very interested to see where that pushes into this final episode. So
Don't you hate it when you find out your one night stand was a dragon and working for an evil god? Ugh.
Man.
Every time.
Yeah.
If I had a dollar for every time.
A nickel.
The same joke. I love it. This is how you know Ian and
We'd
I
have $1.05.
That's it.
$1.05.
Yeah. Alrighty. So on that fine note, these are your amazing cast. As you can see, they're great folk. They've got a great personality about them. So you guys ready to dive in and to tell part 4 of Spheres of Influence, Ebon Fates? Ooh. Here we go. So, in the world of Nier, in the world of the Eternal Night, as previously stated, it has been 161 years since Loun, the god of the sun, has been dethroned and imprisoned by his arch nemesis, Demian, the god of darkness, deception, and betrayal. And because of this, the world has changed. We have seen 4 heroes come out of the gloom to forge a path that is being controlled in part by both fate and free will. These 4 heroes, 3 of which still remain in our story, are from different walks of life, but one thing binds them together, which is that they all have arrived at this ancient keep in the Duchy of Uin, a few miles outside of the city proper, the capital, Uin, of this area. Now, this keep was once founded by an ancient order of knights who used it to defend the land and to ready for the return of the god of the sun, but they were seemingly betrayed and they were put down by a dark force that is still having a purpose here and has pulled these 4 individuals here for that set purpose. From different time periods, they have been pulled forward, some from the past, some from Nier's tremulous current present, and one even from its future. And if the 4 of them have come together, the 3 remain to try to face off against that darkness. In the past specifically, we have seen that one of them, a follower of Laun, has struggled to try to maintain his faith in this time. He has been joined with a man from the past, Jason of House Voorhees, who has a similar path as well. Our bard, Dance Macabre Bard, a man who, while playing his music, can speak and hear the dead, has a connection to this dragon as well, because we found out exactly what happens when that bard successfully seduces the dragon, and it's not good, guys, so stop doing that in your games. But finally, we have our other remaining character, Elora, a Karashi knight, a knight who is powered by insight, foresight, and by skill. She is trying to forge her own path away from the one of her acclaimed and established mother. Specifically, the 3 of them have decided to make the final push to stand up against Kadara, the black dragon who is in charge of this area and has pulled them all here for a nefarious purpose. Will they succeed tonight? We certainly shall find out, won't we? So, specifically, as we get pulled back into the tale, we find ourselves not in this keep, but in a distant time in the recent past. We find ourselves in a nightclub. There is a cool, jazzy sound that sways its way through the club. The people here are dressed to the nines. Most of them are wearing upscale clothing. There are a few who are dressed a little bit more roguish, a little more rough, a little more on the other side of the tracks, but that's all an affectation. For the people who here are in the Eterna Club are looking to specifically try to think their cares away. And the best way to do this is the tall, handsome, dark-skinned man on the stage with a guitar in his hands. Specifically, as we look up at the stage from the point of view of a beautiful dark-skinned woman who sits in the crowd, her long black hair flowing casually down her back. She's wearing a very sensually clinging black sequined gown. And as she looks up towards the man on the stage, Malik, we recognize from our tale previously, is on the stage. He looks a little bit younger, a little bit more fresh, a little less worrisome than we've seen him in the tale so far. Ian, how exactly is Malik playing? What exactly is going on here? What is making this woman notice you so much?
So it's a little bit towards the middle of the night, so it's probably second set for the evening for Malik. After this, he's had a couple, so he's just kind of feeling himself. And instead of going through the usual set list that him and the band that's accompanying him go through, he kind of took a moment to just vibe with the crowd. And he sits on a stool without any accompaniment, just begins to play this soulful tune. And as he's playing, his fingers whisk up and down the neck of the guitar, his dreads kind of flow a little bit wildly, and you can see the sweat from excess alcohol consumption as well as the heat in the club just kind of like going across his face, and it's almost like he's in a trance. He forgets everyone's in the room, and it's just him and his music, and he's just thinking about his grandfather and what he taught him when he was a kid about, you know, when you when you play this instrument, you're not instructing it to make this sound. This instrument is legitimately playing you, and you'll know if it's right because of what you make of it. And so his thought process while he's doing it, he's just allowing that to happen through him and outwards towards the crowd, and it's almost entrancing. And I think that's what kind of caught the eye of our friend in the crowd.
Absolutely. Malik finishes this set, and after a moment, he actually will cross across the stage, step down into the crowd, and move on over to the bar. There is a tune that shifts a little bit somewhere on a jukebox nearby. The bartender hands and slides over a familiar drink to him. And Malik, as you turn, you see this beautiful woman from the crowd, her dark skin glistening with the lights, the neon lights just above the bar, as she turns and has her eyes meet yours for the briefest moment in this 1986 night. You would swear that her eyes don't look quite human. They have almost an alluring entrancement, like they're going to pull you in. They almost look, dare I say, yellow, but clearly that's a trick of the light. And as she looks at you, she simply glides a finger down your forearm and rests her hand for a moment on the back of your hand. I have to say, I'm impressed. I haven't heard anyone play like that in a long time.
Oh, well, I appreciate that. You must be new around here. I wouldn't forget a set of eyes like that.
Oh yes, I'm Katarine. Do you have someplace else we could speak? A place a bit more quiet?
Yeah, I do. And he kind of like looks around because normally it takes a little bit more than that. He's like, sure. And he slams his drink and he goes, follow me.
As you begin to turn,
And-
her hand
Yeah.
grips very tight under your hand. It almost feels like her fingers are claws digging into the back of your hand. It's quite a grip she's got. And she looks at you as you turn your head back to see her, and she looks you straight in the eyes. You promise that you'll stay with me?
Absolutely, sweetheart. I won't be going anywhere.
The corner of her mouth curls up, and you see her slightly more pointed than regularly necessary canine teeth as she follows you into a backroom area that you have that is a place that you kind of frequent from time to time. There is a short passage of time, the intertwining of bodies in the dark night, the sounds of jazz swell over this moment of passion between these two. And after, Malik, Yui finds you over by the door, and you are adjusting your suit coat, maybe fixing your necklace as it sits upon your chest, buttoning up your shirt. And Katarine sits up, looks at you. Where are you going?
We had fun, right? It was a wonderful evening between the two of us, but I go where my music takes me. But I appreciate your company, and maybe we can see each other again.
I thought maybe you were going to be staying with me. I thought maybe you liked me.
I mean, yeah, I find you very interesting, and I do like you, but I mean, you know, the steamy evening, a couple drinks flowing. I thought, I mean, most surely, if you come around the club again, you know, and you want to talk, I'm available, but
You take your eyes
You know
off of
how
her
this
for
goes.
just a moment, and when you do, in that split second, she's suddenly next to you. And her hand tightens on your bicep, on your upper forearm, and she looks you in the face again. I really insist that you honor your promise, Malik.
kind of like wincing at that, just kind of strong grip there. I thought that was just the whiskey. Promise we didn't, there was no, I barely know you. Like,
So you're not staying with me then?
no, I think it's best that I leave. Maybe we can cool down again. If I see you around, I'll buy you a drink. And then kind of like turns away.
As you turn away with a sound that almost sounds like an animal snarl, she yells and her hands slam into your back and drive you forward. You slam into the wall so hard that as you bounce off of it, the part where your chest and half of your head hit are actually busted into the drywall. You slide down out of the way and she steps forward. And as she does, her shadow on the wall behind you looks inhuman. It looks like a long lizard like shape, wings that seem to spread out from the corners of the light that's been knocked over in the corner. And as she steps over you, her eyes have that same yellow hue, but this time it's not inviting. This time it's quite terrifying. And as she looks down at you, she says, "You will honor your promise, Malik, or I will make sure that the entire world sees you the way I see you now."
I think in sure shock and like fright, his mouth opens to scream, but nothing comes out, and it's just one of those like trembling moments because he doesn't know what he's looking at here.
And because you don't say anything, she opens her mouth, and you feel the intense, fiery pain of the acid that slams into your face, burning away the entire left side of your face, down to the bone. You feel this intense, agonizing pain as it sears through the part of the wall, part of the floor, as it pebbles up around you. And in that screaming moment, as you look into her face and you see that, in fact, she is beyond human, she is power incarnate. Malik, you come back to your surroundings. The rest that you have taken is over. You look up to your companions, Elora across the fire, Sir Calbert across the fire, sitting and having some sort of, I would say, probably a strategy talk, a tactics talk with Sir Jason. And as you come to, the rest of you will notice that he suddenly sits up. You guys haven't really seen him sleep, but he suddenly sits up like he's waking up out of a nightmare. He looks a little worried, to be true. What is the passive perception of Calbert and Elora, please?
15?
I also have a 15.
Okay. As he sits up, and the campfire that you guys all have set up here, that you've had set up since you have all arrived, illuminates the side of his face that was partially hidden by his dreads. And as you see the entire side of his face, now Elora, you saw this once before when you traveled outside the perimeter of the keep. His entire side of his face is burnt, haggard looking. The right side seems to be bone white in the firelight. And in that brief moment, you all see him as something else before it just kind of washes and fades and he goes back to his normal look. You could tell from the reactions, though, Malik, that they saw.
Just kind of coming out of that like internal moment, just going and kind of looking around at his hands and kind of touching his chin, and then like lifts his head up and he sees everyone's reaction and he goes, "What?" Kind of trying to play it off. What are you guys looking at?
Your face did that thing again.
And then after hearing Elora say that out loud, he kind of goes, and then looks over at Sir Calbert and go, "You too?"
You ask if I saw it, then yes.
Okay. Then he kind of leans back where he's sitting. This is usually where the questions come in. Let's knock it out now. Go.
Is it painful?
Extremely.
Will it distract you from our fight?
Hasn't yet.
And you are going to aid us in destroying this evil, Kadara?
Absolutely.
Can
Then would you like?
Sorry,
Yeah.
could I roll insight to see if I think he's telling the truth, just kind of from what we've talked about him and his relationship with Kadara?
Absolutely, I think that'd be appropriate. Sure, yeah, go ahead and do an insight roll.
Okay. Yeah. That's a 13.
A 13? Okay. I think the same information that you've already gleaned off of Malik with the few little insights that you've gathered about what exactly his relationship is to Kadara, I don't think you really gain anything new right this moment. His general demeanor, you can tell that he is much more open. You could tell that he is, in fact, he's laying it all out. He is giving you all an opportunity to ask the full questions and to give answers. So,
Now, only one other person has seen this outside of the person who gave it to me. Just putting it all out there. Would you like to see it now?
I mean, I've
It is
seen
kind
it,
of fun.
but maybe he wants to see it. I don't know.
By all means.
Okay. He stands up and he brushes off his suit and he looks at everybody and he goes, whatever you see, like in a haphazardly way, whatever you see or hear, just know that I'm still here, and yeah, don't move from your spot. Agreed? Verbally? Yes?
Yes.
Okay. Perfect. And again, he kind of like centers himself. It's more so of like before you take the jump off the diving board. And he goes, okay. It is kind of fun. And he puts his hands in the back of his head. And you can just see smoke just barreling out the back of his head. And he begins to grunt. And then it turns into a wail as his hands slowly come from like over. And he's just peeling a dark shadow off of his head. And the visage of Malik that you all have known just like gets pulled away. And you just see this like huge wail of like fiery screams as he just rips everything off of him. And you can just see it. And he's just tearing it away. And when he finishes, like just steaming smoke comes off of his head and his back, and then he turns his head and his eyes are glowing like fire, hellfire, and he sticks his arm out and the hellfire rapier comes out, and that's when you see the full visage of it. And he goes, what now?
Yeah, it's the same as before. You look, and like you can tell she like doesn't want to lie to him, but like, you look like you.
Thank you. And he takes the hellfire rapier and he does the sword swallower thing, and as it goes in, he puts his hand across his face and it's back to his visage. I mean, listen, I've had enough time to be theatrical with it. You might as well.
Yeah, that last piece was cool. Did you like practice that? Does that hurt? And now like suddenly she's intellectual.
Well, yeah, of course.
Yeah. Surprisingly, that part doesn't hurt, but the part before, extremely painful. But yeah. Cool.
Yeah, Calbert is sort of like
That was
leaned forward.
kind of
He's like leaned forward, studying almost, and seems to be sort of thinking deeply. And finally, he looks at Malik and he says, Master Malik, since we met earlier in this night, you have posed the demeanor of a strange fellow from a strange land, and now I understand a strange time. And what you've shown us now makes you only stranger still. Perhaps there would have been a time for a knight such as myself to take umbrage with what you have shown me, to think you monstrous or troublesome. But we have been in the darkness for a very long time. Light is a rare and precious thing, and you have shown that you are a source of it in the battles we have fought together thus far. These times make for strange bedfellows, and I will not deny that you have been a stalwart companion.
Yeah, I think he means that strange is good.
Thank you. Okay, well, we got that out the way. What are we gonna do now?
After this
Well, now
conversation... Oh, go ahead. Please, go ahead.
Now as I gather it, we are going to kill the woman who did this to you.
That's the plan. Also didn't realize that she was a dragon. That was new to me too.
The
You
creature,
didn't know.
perhaps, that did this to you.
Yeah. Makes sense though if I replay it in my head. It's crazy. I can't believe and then just kind of like just goes
As he's
into
about
another
to
scene.
finish that, as he's about to finish that, Sir Jason of House Voorhees, who has been sitting next to Sir Calbert this entire time, has not weighed in. And in fact, as he stands and he steps into the conversation, you all notice it's almost like he didn't hear or observe the conversation you all just had. Because as he comes in, his demeanor is very businesslike, very tactical. And as he steps forward, he resheathes his sword. All right, everyone. Loun requires us to be steady, true, and have strength at this time. We must go, we must face this dragon once and for all. Are you ready?
Are we ready?
Is that a question you can ask? Are you ever really ready for this? It's a dragon. I think we're gonna just give it our best shot, you know? I'd like to live.
We certainly shall. There will be no problems. With the combined power of 2 Knights of Loun, we will be able to find the strength necessary to illuminate the dark and bring this beast to heel.
I mean, you had 3 Knights of Loun and 2 of them died.
I think if you want it to heal, that's more of a dog thing.
Right you are. And as he turns to Malik, again, surprisingly, his reaction is different than you'd expect. That's the spirit. Shall we go then, Sir Calbert? Are you ready to lead your friends into the battle?
Calbert looks a little embarrassed by all of this. He's like, this guy. You get the sense that even Calbert is like, this guy's a lot. And
No extra.
and he sort of.
This is my cousin.
He's like rubbing his temple for a moment and then says like, yes, it is not only our purpose, our persuasion, our duty, it is perhaps even our fate. We have already gone over the fact that we have been brought here and chained to this place by magics so that we might destroy this evil that has brought us here. This is what Loun has asked us to do. This is what perhaps you do not believe in or have your personal faith in the sun god, you too, but I believe that he guided you here as well, and that some greater power has tasked us with the destruction of this foul enemy. And that is what we are going to accomplish. When we set out, we must be strong. We must have courage in our hearts. Do not falter. Do not hesitate. Once we have committed ourselves to these actions, we must follow them through. We will slay this beast, we will break whatever curse or deep magics are holding us here. Malik, perhaps you will be able to return to your home and perhaps even be freed of this terrible curse that has been laid upon you, this scarring and change to who you are, or at least who you appear to be. Elora, you and I hopefully will be able to return to our service to the duchy, you to your studies of any kind that you seek, and myself to continuing to hunt down the enemies of light wherever they might find a hiding place in the darkness. Sir Voorhees, you will be able to return to your home as well, I should think, and hopefully if you have been summoned here temporarily by these magics, maybe you'll get your arm back. I don't know a great deal about that side of things. You would have to ask Dame Elora. She knows more than I do.
Hey man, you were doing so well. Keep going. You're good.
The point is this. We must stand firm, and we must stand together. We have already overcome many threats this night. One more shall fall before the moon sets. Hold your blades high and strike through. That is all that the sun requires of us.
And throughout this speech, we've seen the two little starting to become familiar antennas as they peek out. And Altra makes an appearance. And Altra, for those of you who don't know, is Elora's Yam Yam, which is a physical manifestation of Elora's spirit. And for once, you don't see fear on its face as it looks at you all. And when it appears, Elora says, "Yes, we can do it. Yeah. You know what? I actually think we might be able to do this. Just maybe. I don't know. But I hope we have Nellen's strength."
Beautiful. Brian, I think
great.
that Sir Calbert definitely has used his inspiring leader ability that he has. I mean,
Absolutely.
that was inspiring just me hearing it, so of course it's inspiring to your companions. So what exactly kind of benefit is the group going to gain from that?
Well, given that there are, three of us plus our one friend, we fall within the limits of the feat. Everybody gets 13 temporary hit points.
Ooh, nice. Cool. Good to know. Alrighty. Is
That
there
was
anything
really
else
good,
that you
by
all
the
would
way,
like to
Brian.
do to
That was dope.
prepare?
Thank you.
I might actually. I just gotta see if there's a time on it. So I had last episode I had ritual cast an unseen servant to kind of go in the direction where Sir Calbert went to where they located Kadara. They're still over there. Did they glean anything else?
There's been no change. It would seem that Kadara continues to wait on the knoll that she was sitting on, this outcropping of rock that is partially above the rest of the ground level. And she probably, you would guess by the way that both Calbert described it, as well as any sort of feeling you might get from the unseen servant, that she basically is just nursing her wounds, resting, trying to get back some sort of recovery before, she faces off against you guys. I mean, it's only a matter of time that she would know as well as you guys that you'd have to face off against one another again. So she's preparing herself in her way.
Got it. In the area that we're in, are there... I want to do a quick perimeter sweep. Like Malik will jump up from the fire and be like, "All right, give me a second. I'm just going to take a quick walk, stretch my legs before we kind of get into it. Be right back." And steps away, and he's looking on the ground to see if there's anything around Miss Izo's body or where it was of the other forms that we had destroyed.
Oh, I see. As you move over to that area where you had this previous battle where Izo fell, as you walk, your hand absentmindedly goes down to your pocket where you've taken some of her remains and put there, and you just, almost like a sense of walking with a companion or walking with someone that you trust, your hand just rests there like you're walking with her back to the spot. And as you return, Much to your surprise, you see that the other bodies, as they fell, are all gone from where they fell. The ground is clean swept. It almost looks like there was no battle here at all. You do see that Izo's other remains, the parts of her that you guys all very tenderly and carefully moved off to the side and kind of pseudo buried in a cairn type situation, remain, but the rest of the forms do not, including the 2 Knights of Laun who were killed by that strange demon beast. You also notice there is a purple haze that is across the horizon. You see, it will look like the barrier that you all had noticed was beginning to move closer and closer in, has moved in yet again. You would guess from the distance from where you are currently standing to where it is now, and the fact that now you can see this purple shimmering light that gleams across the moonlight, that it is half a mile now of a radius that you all have rather than the full mile. So it would basically be the entire area of the keep, this area that is being controlled by these strange spheres, this spherical magic, has enclosed itself the full half distance. Time would be running out, it would seem.
Just looking around, just going, all right, damn, okay, fine. And then going back to the group and go, seems like our time is running short. We need a boogie.
Then perhaps now is the time for us to ride out and meet this threat. I confess, when I say ride out and meet it, that is what I mean for myself. I am not a man of subtlety or stealth. I fear that my armor is far too loud, my sword far too bright for such measures. But perhaps you, Melik, or even you, Dame Elora, might decide to move in from the side, perhaps try to maintain some element of surprise. Once the battle begins, I would urge you to come to my side as quickly as possible, though.
Oh, you know what? That's not a bad idea. Sir Calvert, what's that over there?
He just keeps looking at you.
And he... all right, cool. Boom, invisibility.
As you turn invisible, you see Sir Jason. He turns off in the direction where Malik had pointed, not at the same pace of like, hey, what's that? He just happens to look over in that direction. And then he says, almost absentmindedly to just you, Calbert, it would seem our time here is drawing short. Are you ready to face our foe this night?
I am indeed. I am honored to have a brother by my side.
You guys clasp arms in that very formal way, and then he is going to turn. If only I had my steed to ride as well, we would ride in together, but I will instead have you take the lead on this. I will follow with your other companions. We will lead them into glory this night. Laun be praised.
Of course.
And he just kind of walks off out of the way. It looks like he pulls out his sword, does a couple of practice moves, like he's preparing himself for something. And all 3 of you mount up and get ready to go. And as you begin to head out closer, you all will see that the night there is a strange fog that is beginning to creep over the landscape, slowly coming in like long, spindly fingers reaching out towards your feet, even towards your steed's hooves. It looks like the land is starting to come back and try to grasp and claim you all away from your purpose. As you look, you can see that there are those shimmering prismatic walls of purple that are along the edge of everyone's vision. As you look, Elora, you'll see that the walls actually don't appear to be as bright for you. You can actually see through them and see what's beyond, but the rest of you see these walls almost as opaque, hard walls that are starting to close in around you, and there's a slight feeling of claustrophobia you'll notice. Can I have everybody please in the party, I'll have Elora make this with advantage, have everybody please just make a wisdom saving throw.
Oh. Yeah, wisdom.
Mm-hmm. Except you will have advantage. What you guys got?
A nat 20.
Oh, nice.
First
nice,
roll.
nice. Beautiful.
Right.
This bodes well.
I got a 21 total.
Okay.
Oh, and I got a 12.
Okay. All right. And that's fine. As you all begin to move out, Malik, there is a heaviness that weighs over you. Your thoughts drift back again to that fateful night when you met Katarine, Kadara, this black dragon, and she changed your life. You changed your own life. You realize that you made a decision that did not bode well upon you. You reaped what you sowed, as it were. And as you ride forward, there is a certain level of heaviness that weighs down on you. Now, what's going to happen is basically there is a feeling of dread that is kind of permeating in on all of you. Malik, you are currently being affected by it. It's not anything super drastic. You are just going to have a -2 on your rolls for the time being. It's nothing crazy beyond that. By your rolls, I mean basically your attack rolls, your saves, things of this nature. If you have to do something like a knowledge roll or something, that would be fine. But just you're physically trying to do something would be affected in this one. But the rest of you seem to be fine for now.
Is this a charm?
It is not. It's just basically a feeling of just dread, of just this really intense, heavy. Fear would probably be the closest thing to it, but it's deeper than that. It's almost like this sense of fate, the sense of destiny is pulling at you harder than it's pulling at the others for the time being.
Okay. Damn. And I'm sorry, one more time. -2 to what?
Basically,
Like
-2 to your attack rolls and
saves.
Yeah. Alrighty. And so you all move closer, and as you continue to move, there is again this same dread, the same feeling. It takes you not very long at all to move the half-mile distance now that you'll see, and just ahead of you, just beyond a copse of trees, you will see this outcropping that rises up above the land. And in this rising outcropping, you will see on the top of it, emanating from behind the large hulking shadow of Kadara's dragon form, is a purple vortex that begins to spread. The portal-like effect that you all have seen before. First, you saw it when Izo entered into this area. You then saw it again when the cultists were trying to summon whatever it was they were trying to summon. You see it yet again when the knights and this demon-type creature that you all recently slain came to this area as well, and you see it now yet again. You see shadow figures are on the top of this knoll around it, seeming to be summoning, chanting, gesticulating towards the portal. But you also notice that as they move around and do this, as you see Kadara stand and flex her shoulders and almost, it looks like, painfully take up to the sky, you see she passes through them as if they're not really there. Some sort of illusion, or perhaps a memory of what has happened in this place time after now current time. What would you all like to do to enter into this fray? Let's go around the horn. Let's start with Annika. What would you like to do, Alora?
Can I... Well, because she's dragon. I would like to do Spirit Shroud. And so,
Okay.
calling upon the spirits of fallen Kurash Knights, this golden energy starts to surround Elora, and this radiant energy begins to pulse around her.
Excellent. Does that do anything special for you?
Yeah, that's going to give me a D8 radiant damage on all attacks.
Ooh.
And then, I think right now she's going to pull out a bow. It's a raggedy bow, nothing too special, too crazy. She likely got it from somewhere in the Kurash Knight Armory area at some point.
Sure. Absolutely. And as you ready yourself, and you draw the bow and you inspect to make sure your arrows are ready, you hear a familiar voice behind you say, "Do you really think that you're ready to go travel out into the night and be a true Kurash Knight? Do you think you are ready for everything that is here? You do understand this is a great onus that you are taking up, and it will reflect upon our family whether or not you are successful." And you recognize the voice of your mother from behind you, the Karash Knight, who is a bit of a legend in her own way in this time, in this area. The lady, when you turn to see, is basically a woman who would very easily be recognized as your mother. She is tall, elegant, and she has that same bright golden hair. Yours, actually, you'll notice when you look back upon her, seems to be brighter for the time being. Maybe because you're not sure how could she be here. But you realize it's a memory, it's a trick of the light. And as you turn back into the memory, you recall what you might have said that day. So what do you say?
I'm not trying to be you, Mom. Like, I've never really wanted to be you, I guess. Can I be me?
Can you be you? Well, I believe everyone is who they are. It's not important for you to be me. That's not what I've truly wanted. What I have wanted is for you to be important, for you to realize your personal potential, for you to be driven. And if you do that, then that will be enough, but I have not seen you rise to that. You are scared, you are full of fear, you are nervous, trepidatious. Your training is not realized because you hold yourself back. The question is, will you change that? Can you change that?
Well, you know, it's funny that you say that, because I've been meeting these people and kind of talking to them, and, you know, they didn't know anything about me or what's going on in my life, but, like, they think I'm pretty okay, and that's kind of cool, and so I guess I don't know that I need to be you, Mom, and I know that's hard for you, and you got these big dreams for me, but, like, can't I just carve out my own little piece of this world and, like, you know, I don't know. I don't want to not adventure, but I just might not be reaching as high as you want me to.
Laura, please make either persuasion, or if you don't have any focus in persuasion, you could perhaps just make a charisma check.
Yeah.
Let's
That's
go.
the same,
Setting
so.
boundaries. Let's go.
Challenge zone for Elora. It's a 17.
Oh, okay. Your mother's face gets very dark, very serious as her eyes furrow. You have seen her do this as someone who was tangentially part of your training, but not directly part of your training, because she didn't think that that was proper. She had the other knights, the high masters, train you, while she oversaw that they did it correctly in a way that she thought was necessary. So you've seen this look before. It's one that is disapproving, and as she looks, you do see that there is a twinkle in her eyes, however. And she just says, like she did those several, maybe we'll say maybe about a year ago, very well. The choice is yours to make, Elora. I hope when the time comes, you know what you need to do. I am off. And she turns to leave. And much like she did in the memory, she turns off and she follows and she mounts onto a war horse. She looks back to you one last time. And in the memory, when she turned back, you didn't say anything to her. Do you do the same now, or do you say something? Do you make a stand again?
You know, I may never be who you want me to be, but I am your daughter, and I am right here, and there may come a day you don't come home from an adventure, and you know what that was like for me, and... Sorry, I haven't thought about this person's name for a minute. Edgar. So, if you don't want me to think of you in a way that's different than Edgar, then stop being so rude, and then...
Alrighty. Go ahead and make another persuasion or charisma check with advantage.
Oh. Okay. So the upper one is 15.
Ooh, so 15 total?
Yep.
Okay. You feel that you stood up for yourself. You definitely didn't do this before. And you notice something that the memory that you replay in your mind did not do before. Your mother looks to you and she gets a weird smirk on her face, almost as if it says that you finally understood something. She gives you a nod, and as she rides out of the memory, Elora, for the remainder of this session, you will have a point of inspiration.
Oh.
Which we really haven't talked about on La Notte Eterna, because we're doing something a little special tonight. So, it works just like regular inspiration from D&D. You're going to be able to use it to get advantage on a roll anytime during the remainder of the night. So keep that in mind.
Spicy, thank you.
Spicy. Alrighty. And then you are again pulled back into the present as you ready your bow. You look up, you see that as I said, the form of Kadara is up into the sky. You see that she's flying up above. Looks like she's having a little bit of trouble with this moment. Off to the side, Malik, you just look on, and we kind of go past you to see Calbert standing there with Sir Jason. Sir Jason comes up. He's to be beside your horse. He draws his sword. Are you ready, brother?
As ready as we ever are. We are born to this.
Very well. Laon will protect us this night.
Or he will see to it that we die with glory.
He stops for a moment. He was about to do something with his sword, and he stops. He gives you a strange look, like he doesn't understand what you said. And then he puts the sword out and finishes the movement he was doing, almost like he got interrupted or something. He puts the sword out. It's just you guys cross swords. It's like a salute type of situation.
Mm-hmm.
And he moves over to the other side to kind of move into a flanking position. And in this moment, you all are ready. You see the purple shimmering on the outside of the perimeter. And with that, should we perhaps roll initiative, or should we do something else, or what do you guys want to do here? Let's do it. Let's roll initiative.
Yeah, I guess.
I was gonna be like,
sure.
wait a minute.
Trick question. And I will bring up our special battle mat here on Owlbear Rodeo, which is where we use not a sponsor of the show or anything fun like that, but we really recommend Owlbear. It's just a fun, easy way for you to control your battles. So you'll see on the screen, it'll come up here in a second. We want to thank Miko, who, as always, is our cool, awesome behind-the-scenes producer on all these episodes, kind of controlling the way everything looks and how everything interacts with us all. Does a great job doing that. He makes all the cool custom art too, and all the overlays and everything that you see here. So yeah, he's the man, and he's very sick tonight. So thank you, Miko, for being here. Hearts to you, my friend. So as we look upon the battle map, the party is together. Now we do see on the battle map here that Kadara is there, but she is actually in that general space, but she is up in the air about 50 feet. So there is a little bit of that you have to overcome and compensate for. And again, you guys can move yourselves a little bit from where you're currently positioned. This is just where I defaultly put you onto the map. So let's go ahead and what are those initiatives? So Calbert, we'll start with you, sir.
I got a 5.
Oh, all right. Elora.
Elora got 18.
Okay. Malik.
I got a nat 20 for a 23.
Oh, baby, yeah.
Yeah. Which I would have preferred on the dread moment, but sure, we'll take it.
Sure, yeah, right.
Calbert's holding back until he wants the others to have their chance to do something like we talked about before he charges in.
Of course, yeah. You don't want to cramp anybody's style. I get it.
That's what it
Jason is going to go on a 16. So,
yeah, that's what it is. It's not that his foot is caught in the stirrup for a moment.
Yes. Something very interesting.
That's what you say as you fall out. Like, I have a plan.
Yeah, like listen, you get the moments. Go do what you want to do.
I'm right behind you.
I'll be there in the moment.
A wild war horse has entered the scene. If we could have each of the three of you please just roll a nat 20. I almost said roll a nat 20. I mean, you can roll a nat 20 if you want. Go and just roll a 20 and just each of you tell me what you get. I'd like to have done this with all of our different arts. There's something unique that you all roll for at various times. So.
Okay, I'll take that. No modifiers, just flat.
Just flat 20.
Kevin, you said to roll a nat 20 and I delivered.
Oh,
Absolutely,
beautiful.
I did.
That's
Absolutely.
Let's go.
That's cool.
Nat 20 for
I got a
Calvert.
6.
6 for Elora. What did
Oh,
you
and then
get?
I got an 18.
18. Okay, very good, very good. So let me just take that natural 20 and apply it to what it's going to here. Okay. Cool. So with that being said, Malik, you are going to tie your nemesis Kadara in initiative. Perhaps that's fitting, but I will give it to you, even though Brian just rolled a natural 20 for her initiative. So, Malik, what would you like to do? Malik, what would you
Okay.
Malik, what would you like to do for your turn, sir? As you all get drawn into battle, you do see above, she notices that you all are there, and she shrieks out into the night because there is illumination coming off of the sword that Sir Jason is holding. So there's not really a surprise
Can
round.
she see past my invisibility?
You would assume she cannot see your invisibility.
Oh, okay. So she just sees everyone. Okay, beautiful. I'm going to, as an action, I'm going to cast Mage Armor on myself
Beautiful.
to give me that buff.
Okay.
And then honestly, that's for right now. That's all I can do. I'm going to take my opportunity to use my movement to get over here. Yep, that's the extent of my movement. And then I'm just still being invisible, just kind of like hanging out with this mage armor, ready to see what's going to happen next. And that's me.
Beautiful. Okay. So you move over in that direction. There is a shimmer, a shadowy effect, a smoky effect that's not seen by the fact that you are invisible. Oh, but wait, what type of invisibility is that? It's just regular? I think you're muted, but
It's not greater invisibility or anything. So yeah, I guess casting that mage armor, my invisibility drops, and she'll see me standing over the corner, just like, huh.
yes. So as you move, as you move over to that area, you all see Malik appear out of a smoky into the night, and it moves over to the side. I'm gonna roll a check for her real quick. Oh yeah, she sees you. Unfortunately, perception of a 29. So she arcs over. She sees you, and it looks like her head turns in your direction, Malik. And then she is going to say, "You all will not stop what is coming. It is time for the tyrant to rule." And she is going to breathe down an acid breath weapon. So I would need Malik to please make a dexterity saving throw.
Oh, you said this was -2, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I'll take that. So that's okay. So with the -2, it's a 20, a dirty 20 with the -2.
And as she streaks a very familiar acid stream out of her mouth, it streaks down straight at you, a line of acid that burns and ripples through the ground. It goes straight through the chest, through the body of one of these people who's chanting towards the portal. It's like he's not even there. It just goes right through him. And as it arcs to him, Malik, you dive and roll out of the way, and it singes through the grass where you were standing. She continues her flyby up ahead. She makes a wide arc that puts her over here as she starts to surround and circle in around you guys. Now, to give you guys a brief idea of what's going on here, in the area where you all are at, Malik is up here in the highest point. Down here, this is like a slope. This is another slope down here, these like little pathway looking things. So it's tiered. It leads up to the higher section. So this area here is higher than this area, which is higher, or about the same as this area, which are higher than down here, if this all makes sense. This is a slant slope, like a hill kind of situation. That way you all have an idea of what we're dealing with here for levels, okay? So, with that, Elora, you see that apparently Malik has raised her ire and has drawn her attention, so she is flying past you guys. What would you like to do?
Yeah, so Elora is going to start by moving over here. I kind of pictured her in front of that bush, which I think is a bush. And then we are going to start. Well, okay. So inspiration. Do I have to declare that before I use it?
No, how it works is you can roll, and then what you can do is you can just decide to, before you know the outcome of the roll, you can decide if you
Yep.
want to use it.
Okay.
So just like normal.
So what I would like to do is do a lightning bolt on her.
Ooh. Lisa would be proud, I think.
That was the idea, yes. And
Love
so,
you, Katie.
oh, that one actually might work on its own. I rolled a 16, so I think we should be okay on it. Or maybe she rolls, actually.
I think
Oh,
with
yeah,
lightning bolt,
so-
she gets a dex save. Maybe.
Yep, she gets the dex save.
Dex
So
save,
is there a way I could use the inspiration to give her disadvantage? Or no, it's supposed to give
Nope,
me
this
advantage?
is just going to work like a regular advantage for you because specifically you overcame something. So I
Okay,
believe one of your party
sounds
members
good.
have silvery barbs, though, so maybe that'll be something that comes up.
Oh, yeah, sure. Okay, so yeah, she needs a dex save.
Okay, she
Who
rolls
has that?
What's that? Who
Who
has
has
that?
silvery barbs? I don't
I
know.
don't know. She's
There
gonna
may
roll
or may not be two of us.
She's gonna roll 19.
Silvery barbs. 16 was the number we were hoping she would roll under. But if we don't care how terrific this damage is, then maybe not. Okay. So if we're not doing anything to change that, then it's going to be half of 8d6.
Okay.
I'm gonna silvery barbs that because an 8d6 sounds great. So,
Okay, so she rolls
because
for
I thought you were
disadvantage?
gonna do it, because you said it. So
Yeah, I wasn't sure. Yeah. So what happens is as the lightning bolt streaks down out of the sky, there is that swirling. The clouds get dark. They blot out the sun, which is the sun. No, not the sun. Blots out part of the moon, which is very full this night. I thought it was the sun. Sorry, I got very distracted. You know, Calbert's here. He's got a glowing sword. Alora's full of light and energy. Sorry. As it blots this out and it streaks down towards her. She starts to move out of the way, but Malik, you bend fate around her. So who are you giving the advantage to as she takes disadvantage on this roll?
I'm gonna give it to Alora too. So
Okay.
if you haven't used your inspiration, you got that advantage and an inspiration. What? Hit them hard. Let's go.
All right.
All right, so she is going to fail because now she is going to roll an 18. Oh, no, no, not 18. So I looked at the wrong thing. Not 18, excuse me, 14.
Okay,
16
sweet.
was what she did, so-
Yeah. So she will be taking the full damage then. 16 was the number she had to beat. And... Okay, so I have 4d6, so I'm gonna roll them twice. Ooh, those are high numbers. Okay. All right,
Good.
so round 1 is 14 lightning.
Ooh.
Round 2 is less exciting. So 12 on the second one, so 26 lightning
26.
damage.
Oof. Yes.
And as the lightning finally strikes her, like she recognizes that Malik stepped in to help, and the lightning finally reaches its target. And in that moment, Elora just like almost childishly points at the dragon and says, "You killed Izo, and I didn't like it."
Absolutely, absolutely. The lightning arcs through her. You see her back arc as she spasms, her claws reaching to try to stop herself. Her wings, you can see illuminated in the moment as the electricity arcs down through her different extremities, and you can see that huge tear in the wing where you guys had hit her previously before with when she was in a different form as got over to her wing. And yeah, it's a powerful blow. You see her start to fall out of the sky for a moment before she swoops and catches herself at the last moment. So Sir Jason is going to turn and he says, "Be gone with you, foul beast!" And he starts to run forward. He's going
Oh,
to
real
search
quick,
for-
sorry.
Yeah, go ahead.
I think I have a bonus action.
Oh, okay, sure. What are you doing?
I just want to spend a key point to do patient defense, which
Okay.
gives me the dodge action until my next turn. So
Oh,
enemies
beautiful.
have disadvantage, and I have advantage on dex saves.
Excellent, excellent, excellent. Cool. Yeah, so you do that. Yeah, you go into a battle stance, ready yourself. This is different than your Karash Knight training, and you have focused it into one fluid thing. Yeah, so he does yell as you go into the patient stance. You see him come running up the hill, and as he does, he gets over to the edge here. The dragon is about even with the edge of the field here. And unfortunately, because of his distance, he cannot make it all the way to her. So he gets to about where he is at there, and he puts the sword up and he's pointing, "Come down here, foul beast! Loun will smite you and drive you from this land." And with that, Calbert's taking up last initiative.
All right. Calbert, similar to our friend Sir Jason, is also going to be, dashing up here. He is carried on his warhorse steed, charging forward, drawing his sword, emanating with flames. And as he gets close enough to Kadara here, he sort of stops at the edge of the field here where she is swooping past. And quite like Jason, he's also going to call out to her. And his is a little more simple. He sort of rears up as his horse, rises up on its hind legs, hooves flashing as they, kick through the air. And his sword is held high as he calls out, "Loun's light is upon you. Stand and face me." And I'm doing two things with that. First, I'm going to use my bonus action to channel divinity using my sacred oath. And I'm going to use the option that I haven't used so far with that in this campaign arc, where I am going to use the Radiant Martyrdom ability, where rather than marking her as a threat to be put down, I am marking myself as a bulwark that has to be gone through before she can attack my allies. A radiant mark of Loun's holy symbol blazes on Calbert's forehead. And for 1 minute, he is going to have resistance to radiant and necrotic damage, and any enemies within 30 feet that attack allies other than him have disadvantage on their attack rolls.
Beautiful.
Cool.
That's my bonus action, and with my action...
That's my bonus action.
Yeah.
Awesome.
With my action, I am casting command on Kadara, commanding her to land on the ground next to me.
Absolutely. Okay. So yes, you have the mark of yeah, the mark of Loun comes down over you almost like a shroud on top of your tunic, blazing out. Light illuminates out of all different areas of you that aren't beneath armor, and you are just this shining beacon in the night. And definitely the power of Loun is with you. And she has to roll what type of save against the...
She has to make a wisdom save.
Wisdom save
to try and ignore that command.
Okay, she is going to roll a 15.
That is not high enough. The DC is 16.
Okay. So...
basically what that means is on her turn, she has to follow the command and then end her turn. So probably the most direct version of this would be basically the approach command that's recommended, where they move to you by the shortest and most direct route and end their turn if they move within 5 feet of you. So basically, she just has to land in front of me and stop.
Okay. You call out command to her. Loun, it's almost like his voice comes out of you, and you feel it ripple out, and you can see her features change for a moment. Almost there's a woman's face, different to all of you. A beautiful woman that you all would recognize, that you have seen before when you first saw her in the witch form. And that fades away for a moment. And as she starts to move forward to land next to you, I'm going to have her use her one legendary resistance to stop that. And you see her kind of shake and no, she screams out at you, and that will be that. So back to the top. Malik, she is still even with that area you guys are at, this plateau that you guys are at. The men around you who are channeling, the portal is swelling above all of you. You can see they're kind of fading in and out, almost like they're here, but they're not here. Shadows, memories. As you all move, you can move right through them. They are not physically here, but it looks exactly the same as the original summoning that you all encountered before. And if we could, let's have all of you make an insight check real quick to see if you notice maybe something about what could be going on here real quick.
Naughty Laura.
Oh no. Well, that's okay.
A
This
10.
is okay. Save to fail. So, check to fail. So, what'd you get?
I got a 10.
A 10. Okay.
I got a 15.
This is still -2 for me.
This is no, because it's going to be on your attacks and your saves.
Cool. I got a dirty 20.
Okay. So, gentlemen, you notice that what's going on is this is definitely like a memory. This is just being shown again. These are the men who caused the original summoning. These are different men. You can see now that you've moved up closer. The ritual seems to be the same. You can see the men are giving part of their life essence to summon something. But what you can see is that this is not the same ritual that you all interrupted earlier this night. This is a different one that happened on this spot at a different time. So you recognize that. Melora, you're so wrapped up in the moment, feeling strong and feeling good about yourself that you don't notice this. But Malik, it is your turn. I just wanted to have a little bit of that get talked about before you do so. So what do you, sir?
So Malik's going to reach into his jacket and pull out a little bag here. And in the bag, he's going to take out a couple bones, a little bit of ash, and he's going to bend down on the ground, dig a small hole, put that in there, and you can see just heat just permeate from his hands. And if anyone's paying attention, you hear him go, Miss Izo, I think there's somebody here who wants to talk to you. And he's gonna cast Animate Dead on the bones from Miss Izo to bring her back.
Oh, snap. Okay. You do that pretty much where you're standing there on the map currently?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Is that how long does that take? Just the full round, or
it takes a minute, so I would assume it would be
like
it's a minute casting time, but it's yeah.
Okay, I got you. Okay, so yeah, you start doing that.
It's a little. It reads weird because I'm sorry. It says casting time is a minute. The duration is instantaneous.
I got you. No,
like, I don't.
You're good. Yeah.
Okay.
So you pull the dirt over. You do that. You have this little prayer. You pat the earth for a moment, and you feel something beneath it begin to stir. But you know it's going to take a moment. So you stand and turn to face your foe again.
Perfect. So that's technically my action.
Mm-hmm.
I've never really heard anybody do this, but would it be holding a bonus action to do something? I'll let you know what I want to do. When Miss Izo pops out of the ground, I want to, as a bonus action, expend one of my bardic inspiration to provide her. She's going to get plus my charisma modifier, which is 2. She's going to get 11 temporary hit points, and she gets advantage on. Sorry, I just read it. I don't understand why it's leaving me now.
Okay.
She gets 11 temporary hit points, and she gets advantage on attack rolls. Or no, she gets to add my proficiency bonus to all of her attack rolls, damage rolls, and saving throws.
Okay.
So, using my bonus action to provide that to Miss Izo when she pops up.
Okay. So let's do this real quick. If you could, please, Ian, roll me just a d4.
Absolutely. It's going to be a 3.
Okay. Thank you. You finish the spell of animating Izo and creating a dead form of her that will return. You feel some other magic kind of twitch through your guitar strumming hand, and you hold it there ready to do something else should she arise in a moment. Is that it for your turn then, or do you want to move at all?
Can you highlight on the map where the ritual casting is?
It's pretty much in the area that you guys are all standing.
Oh, right here. We're in the middle of it.
Yeah, you guys are like in the middle of it. The purple energy is like above you all. It's kind of illuminating you all in this weird purple haze. The men, and now you see men and women, are standing around with these cloaks on. Their faces are partially obscured in the shadow of the fact that they're not really here, but they're not really doing anything to you guys because you guys are moving in and out between them and things of this nature. So yeah, it's this whole area.
Got it. Then that's my turn.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll ride here. That's my turn.
Okay, so Kadara is going to try to resist. She's mad at what happened. First off, I'm going to roll to see if her breath weapon comes back. It does not. That is fine. She is going to now continue her flight. She's going to take her movement, and she's going to continue to move in around you all down to this area that's over towards here. And she continues this flyby. As she moves over to here, she is going to take a swipe well, I guess I'll stop her midway. Well, she'll just go over there. As she continues her swipe, she's going to take a swipe at you on the back of your horse, Sir Calbert.
That is fine.
With a claw. Ooh, probably not. With a 16 to hit.
Nope.
Okay. She takes a swipe out at you, and you bring your shield up to block it out of the way, and right behind you, Sir Jason, he watches, he turns his attention with her as he continues to move, and as he continues to move, his eyes lock with hers. He needs to make a wisdom saving throw. As for her action, she is going to cast...
He is going to get, if it matters, a +4 on that wisdom saving throw.
Okay.
Because he's right next to me. And when she is moving away from the space where I'm at, if she was level with me and kind of within reach, would I be able to make an opportunity attack as she's flying past?
Yep, you can do that.
Awesome.
Go ahead.
Let me go ahead and roll that. That is a 27 to hit.
Oh, yes, that will definitely hit her.
I am going to go ahead and spend a second level spell slot to get some smite on that. Take them where I can get them. So that is going to be 12 slashing damage, and then a total of 13 radiant damage.
Nice. 12 and 13 is 25. Oof. Okay. Yes, so yeah, you swipe through with your longsword. It glows a bright, vibrant color that is matched by the moon as it peeks out from beneath the storm cloud that is dwindling away from when Elora summoned it, and you slice right through her chest. You see she roars and screams as she turns her attention towards Sir Jason. He is going to make that save, as we said. So he rolled. He got a +4 from you, which is going to make his save be a total of 15, and he needed a 17, so he is going to fail. So as he looks upon her, what you're going to see is his eyes cloud over for a moment, and his visage begins to change. One of the purple portal type of waves above you all passes through him, washes over him, and as it does, you see his handsome blonde hair just kind of get blown away to reveal the dark, undead form of what he looked like before. And in its place is the undead warrior, the undead knight that you all fought and killed before. Now he's missing a hand, as Sir Jason was. But he is here, and he has joined the fray as well. So he's going to stay in the same initiative order. So he is after Elora before Calbert, just so you guys all know what's going on with that. And that is it for Kadara's turn. She is still up in the air, 30 feet. She didn't go up or down. She just moved over to there and pretty much dominated this guy. So Elora, what would you like to do?
Yeah, so Elora, having done her lightning strike last turn, is going to turn to the bow that she readied, and we're going to spend at least 1 key point to do 2 attacks with that one, but I might spend my last key to do a 3rd one. We'll see how these first 2 go.
Okay.
But yeah, so that ability for curious folks is a key field attack. If I spend a key point during my action, I can make an extra attack.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, and I'm going to use Malik's advantage because that first roll did not go so well. Okay, so that one is going to be a dirty 20 for attack number 1. And then attack number 2 is a 17.
Okay. Both the arrows streak through. The first one, it hits very solidly just above where Calbert sliced into her, and again she recoils. Blood splurts out of it, a dark green viscous blood. The second one, because she lurched, it just barely misses her. It goes over her shoulder and disappears into the night. But what is the damage for that shot? That first one.
Okay, so the first one is gonna be max damage, so 9 piercing, and then let's roll the radiant on top of that from the spirit shroud. Oh yeah, baby, that is a 7 radiant.
Oh my goodness, you guys are just cleaning up with this. You guys were ready for her. So, yeah, you see the radiant damage beats down upon her. In this moment, you see that there seems to be a shadowy form, not a shadow like the rest of everyone else that's here. It almost seems to be the opposite of shadow. It seems to be a form made out of light that steps behind her for a brief moment, almost wiping his hand across her. Annika, for some reason, you recognize this figure. Nobody else seems to notice it. You're not sure why you do, but you recognize this figure was standing behind Calbert just about an hour or so ago when you had stepped outside the portal range. And she did not like that. Did not like that at all. And Sir Jason, now an undead knight, is going to kind of and turns his attention towards you, Calbert. He is going to take his full attack action at you. Let me get his stats going here, because I got a couple different things here. That's the wrong one. 1 second. Sorry, everybody. I got a few things up on my screen. Here it is. Okay. He is going to take an full attack action against you.
Can I say something that I forgot?
Please, yeah. What's up?
Okay, so the thing I forgot last round when we hit with the Spirit Shroud is that the Spirit Shroud does a couple other things. Yeah, so since she's been hit by that, she can't regain hit points until the start of my next turn.
Ooh.
And is she close enough to me for the second part? Let's find out. Oh, she is close enough to me. Her speed is reduced by 10 feet too.
Oh, no. Okay. Very cool. Good to know. All right. So, yes, indeed. Cool. I have noted that. Yep. Yeah, so Jason takes his attack against you. In your direction, I'll say, Calbert. He is going to attack. The first attack is going to come with a 24 against your horse.
Oh no, you're attacking my horse.
Indeed.
That's very, very rude. Do I have anything that's going to help that? He has disadvantage on that attack roll because I have the saddle of the cavalier.
Ooh, that's right. Let me go and Okay, so instead of that 24, it is going to instead be a 16.
I'm pretty sure that still hits. It's a magic warhorse from like Find Steed, but it just has the stats of a warhorse.
Okay.
So that's gonna hit.
Okay. So the damage is going to be 2d6. Okay. All right. So the warhorse is going to take 9 points of slashing damage.
Okay.
And then the second attack is going to attack at you. It is going to attack at you with an 18.
That is not enough. That clangs off my armor.
Alrighty. Yeah, so he slices into the warhorse right above its shoulder, a deep furrow that he cuts up, and then he reverses the grip, and he's doing all this silently, no emotion on his face, just an undead visage that is attacking back out at you. He swipes up towards you, and you deflect it out of the way. And with that is going to be, he doesn't move, he just stays right where he's at, and it's going to be, Calbert, your turn to react, sir.
All right. So Calbert is definitely going to, realize what has befallen Sir Jason, and with a heavy heart, he is going to sort of wheel about and levy his sword against his comrade who has been dominated and turned to shadow here. So I am going to start by attacking him a couple of times.
Nice.
Well, that first roll is a natural 1, so that's not gonna hit.
Oof.
But we'll see if the second does a little better. Not by much. That's a 13, so I'm guessing that doesn't succeed either.
That's not gonna do it, unfortunately.
All right. And then as part of all that, I'm gonna be sort of wheeling around with the horse to end up over here-ish, because still want to stay kind of close to my companions and close to Kadara, but I think that is going to be the extent of my turn. I'm pretty sure all my bonus actions are spells that are going to disrupt potentially other things that I want to do. So,
okay. Yeah, you try to break through his defenses. You're not able to in this moment. He just is fighting you. You guys have a very similar fighting style because you are both Knights of Laun, but his is perverted, twisted, almost like a mirror of yours, and he seems to be matching your movements almost in unison. Malik, back to the top. This will be round 2. I'm making note of something for the spell that you casted for Izo with her remains. So, your turn, sir.
Okay. And Miss Easel's not up yet, I assume.
Not yet. Nope.
Got it. Okay. So with that, I'm going to help out Sir Calbert there.
Mm-hmm.
So bonus action, I'm gonna throw out. I'm gonna hold on to that right now. I'm going to shoot off 2 Eldritch Blasts against the other knight.
Okay.
So, now that's not gonna hit. So that's a 12 on the first one, and the second one with the -2 is a 17.
Not quite enough. Both of the Eldritch Blasts, as they streak forward, he shimmers and moves, and they just blast through the night. They do hit some of the scrub around on the top of the plateau here and sizzle and burn through it, but not enough to hit him, unfortunately. The portal above is starting to grow and expand, and within it, you can see a silhouetted figure that is in the very distance, almost like they are slowly walking towards it. A unseen observer who is starting to make their presence known. But it's just a fleeting image that you all just happen to notice, but it's not enough to really take full sight of because there's such a bedlam of activity going on right now. Anything else, Matt?
Okay. Nope. That's my turn. My plan is shift now.
Okay. Kadara continues to fly around the battlefield, making wide arcs to try to take you all out. And as she moves over to the direction right above this tree line here, she goes back up to a distance of 50 feet, putting her at a pretty high pace. She's going to roll to see if her breath weapon comes back. Oh boy, this time it does indeed. You see her take a deep breath, and with a roar, she screams out as she finishes moving to right there, and she is going to blaze a line of acid straight down back towards Malik. But in the process of doing so, because you both are pretty much in a line, it's going to blast through Laura as well. So I'm going to need both of you to make dexterity saving throws, please.
It looks like Malik is close enough to get the +4 from me, but sadly, I think Alora is a little too far away.
The distance for that is how far?
I think 10 feet.
Yeah, he is a 10. Yep, she is a 15. You are correct. Good call.
I might have rolled enough. 16?
A 16 for you. And what did you roll, Malik?
19.
19. And as the acid breath streaks down, burns a line through the two of you, Alora, unfortunately, you're not able to get out of the way. It streaks through, blasts through you with a searing pain as acid burns through the one side of your body. You don't have your sword out, but your bow in hand that you do have, you see it start to sizzle. It was already kind of old and kind of not great looking, as you mentioned. It gets a little pitted from the acid. It remains intact, however, it doesn't burn through the string or anything like that. But you are going to take some of this damage. Because you failed your save, unfortunately, you're going to take... Let me roll this up.
Still rolling is never a good sign.
32 points of acid damage. Malik, you will take half because you passed your save. Okay. And that she finishes her movement over where she is at, right above the tree line, and she roars out, "You all are fools! If I die, you all die too." And then she looks up at the portal. "Come, Master, they are ready." And you can see she's starting to breathe heavier. She's having a rough go. I will say, you all can notice without any sort of insight or rolling, she is severely weakened right now. It would seem that between the battle you already had with her, the mortal wound that Izo already inflicted upon her, as well as what you all have done in this fight so far, that she is extremely weakened. She is barely clinging on to her presence. You might be able to turn this around. Maybe. So, with that, it's going to go ahead and be Alora's turn.
What are the odds Elora understands that she's probably using her force to like do the summon a dead hero thing? Because it feels like that's probably what's happening.
I think it would be pretty good, because you did know about a lot about sphere magic when you met up with the party, but to make this completely on the legit, go make a Arcana roll, please. I'll give you advantage because you are learned about sphere magic as part of your Karash Knight training.
Well, I rolled to see if I would get a nat 20, but I rolled a 19 on the die. So if
Okay.
it's Arcana, we're looking at a 26.
All right, yeah, you definitely know. You can tell that also part of her life force has been drained away by her trying to maintain the spell effect that's going on. She is trying to use sphere magic to summon someone or something.
Okay. And I suppose that kind of magic is probably too strong for a counter spell.
It would depend on how strong she made the effect, honestly.
Was my roll high enough that I have an idea how strong that is?
With the 26, sure. I would say, whoops, sorry, I just whacked my mic, everybody. Sorry about that. I think that you would be able to tell that the magic that she is using is pretty powerful. It would be the equivalent of a 4th level spell.
Okay.
Now, you could still use counter spell with other level spells. You just have to make checks. If you do something that is 5th level or higher, which you guys don't have access to right now, but if you have 5th level or higher, you can just nullify it.
Right. Okay.
Oh, Ian's got a look on his face.
Yeah, I think I might take a hint from that look on his face. Is she still 50 feet up?
She is 50 feet up. The trees that she is just above go up to about 40 feet, so there is a distance between her and the trees. She is kind of screaming through the portal, looking into the portal, yelling at her master.
Okay.
In an effort not to metagame,
Sure.
do we as characters know this?
No. No, what specifically?
No. Like this.
Know what
information
you and
that
I
was
just
gleaned
talked
by
about.
Laura.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Maybe if Alora calls something out to perhaps Malik, who she has seen use counterspell before.
You could do something like that if you want, yeah. You guys are able to yell. I mean, just like regular, you guys are able to yell in between combat, during combat rounds. Anything you would normally say in 6 seconds, you can say. So, yeah, you could talk for free. Yeah, you can say something if you want.
Okay. And I am going to take my turn, I promise, but I do have one more question.
That's fine.
Is this 10 feet enough to give me a long jump so that I am within 30 feet of her if I use is it dash? Whichever one doubles my jump. I think it's the dash.
Oh, interesting.
That would be
Okay.
impressive.
Okay. All right.
And I only need to get within 30 feet because
Yeah.
I have a different thing.
Okay. Do you have now being part monk? You have key powers. You have key abilities. I would say you probably could maybe use some key abilities. Maybe what is it? Step of the Wind. Is that you have access to Step of the Wind?
I do have Step of the Wind. I'm hoping
Miko
to
and I
not
and Chad have the
spend
same idea. I love it.
Yeah, I'm hoping to not use that key point though, because I kind of want to save it. So I was reading how if I take the dash action, which I think actually is what I'm probably talking about. Let me look at what I'm doing. Okay, so yeah, I am talking about Step of the Wind. So yeah, I probably will need to use that key then.
It is up to you.
And
you could save it and not do that. I'm just saying that might get you there.
Well, let me finish the train of thought, and you
Sure.
can tell me if it's worth it. So I would like to then do Step of the Wind, spend the key point to do the long jump into the air, and then Misty Step onto her back.
You know what? Not only do I feel like that needs to work, I feel like that's got to work. So I think we can definitely do that. We can definitely do that. So yeah, if that's what you want to do, spending the key point, jumping on a dragon's back. Who doesn't want to go there, right? I mean,
yeah, I definitely want to go there. So yeah, that's what we're doing.
Okay, so you start to run forward. You guys all see her shimmer for a moment. There's like a blur of light, and she streaks ahead. She almost jumps twice on the air and leaps. And as she leaps, her body turns into a bright yellow golden light that streaks over, a fiery blaze that streaks over. Go ahead and make a athletics or acrobatics check, please.
Okay.
If you roll on that one, you're in trouble. Otherwise, I'm sure you're going to be fine. But we'd have to roll. We have to roll. It's D&D. We're playing the game here.
So we're gonna do acrobatics because athletics is not a thing for Alora, and that's just a casual 12. Like, she knew this was a crazy idea and doesn't land very gracefully.
That's fine. I was to say, do you want to use the inspiration?
Well,
Make sure that
I want to
helps
do
out.
it for the. Oh, I guess. Are you?
It's up to you.
Ooh, I was hoping to save it for my next step in this crazy plan of mine, but
There's more. Oh my.
well, it'll be the next turn. But
Go crazy. Live. Do what you feel.
okay,
Well, so Malik has Bardic Inspiration dice to hand out again, right? Like,
He
could
does.
you get her one of those for the next turn, so that she's still got something she
Yeah,
can work
there's
with?
ways to
One.
there's ways to synergize all this.
You got
guys.
one.
I have one.
It's the strategy of fighting
I
a dragon.
almost. Whatever you do, I got your back. Don't even worry about
oh
it.
god.
Laura,
Well, see,
you
I
think about
wasn't-
you think of your mom's nagging voice in the back of your mind asking you if you are ready to make a decision when you know the time is right. So what do you do?
I'm not gonna use the inspiration.
Okay. With a 12, the streak, and as you come out of the movement, your one hand manages to reach out and kind of scramble for a minute until you grab onto a spike that's out of her spine and clutch on. Your body sways and there's almost a popping sound. You're going to take, well, there is a popping sound, I should say. You're going to take 4 points of damage as your wrist and your elbow get partially dislocated, but you manage to hang on and land on her back. So you are now on Kadara's back, 50 feet in the air. She knows you're there, obviously, because you just landed on her back. But that's it for your turn.
Definitely for now. Thank you. That was pretty sweet.
Love it. Sir Jason is going to try to take out the other Knight of Laun. He's going to say, "Our master is not enough to save you. Laun is dead." And he's going to attack you. A full attack, so it means he gets 2 attacks. So the first attack is going to be a 24.
That is a hit.
Okay, and the second one will be a 22.
That is also a hit.
Okay, so he's going to hit you. He is fighting with a longsword. I actually rolled the wrong damage before when I rolled, so I'm going to justify that and roll something different here to reduce it back. Okay, so you're going to take a total between the 2 hits of 18 points of damage
Okay.
with the adjustment that I made for the fact I rolled too high last time. Rolling a 2d6 instead of a 1d8, it's a little different. So he just slams into you twice from behind. And yeah, you feel it. It is something is creeping into you, a coldness with the cuts, but you shake it off because you are currently immune to necrotic, or is it resistance to necrotic?
Resistant to necrotic.
Okay. Well then, with that being said, you're only going to take 2 more points of necrotic damage. That is after the reduction of half.
All right. Cool.
The resistance. So, alrighty, and he is just kind of sticking with you. He's right behind you on like white on rice. So it's going to be Calbert, your turn.
Okay. My turn, and God, I hate being like the martial character who just keeps attacking every turn, but it's something I'm good at. So I'll keep up with it. I did realize that I can afford to cast some spells right now though, because I don't distinctly need to save. I'm not concentrating on anything at the moment. So I am going to go ahead and I will attack him. But I am going to use my bonus action to, as I attack, prepare a branding smite. He commented on how his master, their master is too powerful and Laun is dead. Calbert, sort of takes those hits and wheels around on his horse, and he stares down as he prepares to strike and says, "Let me show you how alive Loun is." So hopefully I hit with one of these as I have the Branding Smite available here. The first roll is going to be a 19 to hit.
A 19 will hit him, exactly.
Excellent. I need to double check something real quick. Yes, I believe I can smite on top of using a smiting spell. I will go ahead and do that.
Yep. It just uses up another spell
double
slot, but
smite.
it doesn't count as casting a spell. So yeah, you can. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, no, for sure. So I will, I cast Branding Smite. I'll just use a first level slot to add on to this.
Okay.
So altogether, that hit is going to do. First, we're going to start off with 14 slashing damage.
Oof, all right.
Then we have another.
And your blade is
2d
considered magical because of
Yes,
your
it is a magic
subclass.
weapon. Yep. Well, no, I have a
You have a
magic
magical
sword.
sword. That's right. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
We covered that before.
Yep.
My mistake, sorry.
And then it's 9 radiant damage from the smite, or from the Branding Smite.
Which will be doubled because he has, what's the word?
Vulnerability.
Vulnerability. Yes, thank you. Vulnerability to
Excellent.
radiant damage.
And then he is also going to take a further 20 radiant damage from the smite itself, which I guess will also be doubled. And for what it's worth, when the Branding Smite lands, it also causes him to gleam with radiant light. He is shedding dim light in a 5-foot radius, and he can't become invisible until the spell ends, which is 1 minute from now. Not that I expect him to try and turn invisible, but just in case. And he is after calling out that Loun has fallen, quite literally gleaming with evidence to the contrary.
Yes.
And if he is still standing after that, I'm gonna hit him again.
You bury your sword up to the hilt in his chest, and he just, you see that there is black, vile, like viscous that just drips down. It would be blood, but it's been warped, it's been twisted. The light is streaming and burning out of his undead flesh at this point. He is still alive, so you take that second attack. You take the sword and just rip it free, and as it does so, there's more of this blood that gouts out. And as you go to take the second swing, you see that there is a figure that steps out from behind him. A figure of, it looks like a young man, wild golden hair that is kind of, almost looks like stylistically off to the side, almost like a blazing sunburst. His skin is sun tanned. He looks very handsome, very regal. He just looks, and he looks at the fallen knight and just glances up at you, and he gets a smile on his face like he believes in what you're doing. So, go ahead and take that attack roll.
All right.
You're going to feel something reach through you and guide your hand. You're going to get an advantage on this attack roll.
Advantage? All right, I will take it. That is a 27 to hit total. Then.
Oh, yeah.
And I will go ahead and smite with one more first level spell slot to make it count. Okay. So that's going to be 13 slashing damage. And 10 more radiant damage, I guess, doubled to 20.
Yes. So as your sword comes down and bites into him, it slices him, cleanly bisects him from shoulder to hip, and his body just slides away, revealing the form of the young man behind him. And you've never seen Loun before, but you know in this moment, Sir Calbert, that is who you see. He watches the top half fall away. He looks up at you. He grins, gives you a smile, and he puts up his hands almost like to do some sort of like bow. You see that his hands are manacled with a dark, shadowy form, and as he just does a little bit of a nod, he starts to fade back into the exterior, fades off into the night. In this moment, time seems to stand still for you. Is there anything you want to say or do when your deity has shown himself to you in this moment?
Calbert he's maybe a little caught off guard by this, but he has truly believed in all of his days of knighthood that Loun is with him and guiding him and guarding him. And so he looks on with reverence, and then he just whispers, guide his soul as you guide my blade. And with that, as Lound fades, he is going to wheel around on his horse and, call out as he puts his heels to the flanks and once again is going to charge towards the dragon.
Excellent. As you charge in towards the dragon, the portal above streaks, splinters the air for a moment, and purple energy ripples out around. You all see that the borders beyond that half-mile distance away are now maybe 100 feet. Pretty much all that is left of the keep and of the area is this battle map area. This is all that's left. As the energy is coming in closer, tighter in around you, you all feel time start to slow for a moment. The shadowy forms that are doing the ritual start to fade away. You are clinging onto Kadara's back, Elora, and in this moment, the silhouette figure in the portal locks eyes with first you, and then Malik, and then finally Sir Calbert. And the only thing that splits the silhouette, this dark form, is a rather sinister smile, gleaming white teeth. And with that, everything starts to shift yet again. But let's take a quick break, shall we? Oh my gosh, we're going to take a break in the middle of a combat? It's never been done! We're going to do it tonight. So, we're going to take 5 minutes. We're going to step away. Please take a bio break, but please, everyone at home, return in 5 minutes for this thrilling conclusion, because it's about to get very interesting for our players. And I say that as a threat and a promise. So, we'll see you in 5 minutes. Absolutely. So here we are back in action, baby. In battle with the vicious Kadara, you have just slain her servant, the undead knight, Jason of House Voorhees. And we're going to go back up to, I actually lost track who was up next on the initiative order. Are we back up at the top? Calbert just did that, correct? Malik hasn't done that yet?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's Malik's turn again.
All right, cool. I'm glad we did that when we did that. So top of the round, Malik, you see that this tide is turning, you see what Calbert has done, and you know that Kadara is still a threat to you all. Is there anything you want to do as the portal rages above? You can see this purple energy streaming out. You see the silhouetted form lock eyes with yours. You see his vicious smile. You know, even though you can't make out any of his features, you know instinctively it is a man. He's older, he's powerful. You can tell that his energy streams out of this, almost like the sun beaming down on all of you. What would you like to do, sir? It's your turn.
Got it. How's Miss Izo doing?
You look and you see that the ground is stirring next to where you are standing. She will come in. I rolled an initiative score for her. She will come in this round on that initiative score.
Oh, okay.
That's what your D4 is.
He's just looking at the ground. He's like,
because normally it would take a full minute, which would be like usually longer than a fight. So I just kind of truncated
it's like
something because
10
there's
rounds,
times
yeah.
being a little weird in this place. So 3 rounds. This is the 3rd round. So she'll be up in just a moment.
perfect. So he's like frantically looking at the ground from that, and he's like, what? And then he sees that huge visage with that smile, and he's like, okay, fine. We'll try something desperate. And so he clamps his hands together, and you can see like this radiant shadow energy is like pulsing around in his palms. And as that radiant energy gets bigger and bigger and bigger, his visage goes to his true form, and it's like etching away slowly, and you can just see the skull going just full Ghost Rider theme, just setting ablaze, and he's going to shoot that shadow energy up to that portal, and hopefully this may or may not work. He's going to cast Dispel Magic at 5th level.
Oh, snap. Okay. You pull out and your visage gets pulled away. That final, almost like when you pulled back your shadow and ripped your skin off before when you revealed to your friends. You feel your visage, all of the magic that you've been using to keep that hidden, to have your handsome musician form still be part of it. You reach out and you lance it forward. That form, your handsome form, your form that you would like to be seen as, is gone. You feel it leave you, get pulled away through the magic, and in its place, much as she cursed you those years ago, you see the form that Kadara wishes the world to see you as. a man who broke her heart and betrayed her in a moment of weakness. And as you stand there, Malik, your energy goes out. It hits the portal. And as it does, it continues to shriek and burn. And then it starts to flicker and it starts to implode upon itself. The silhouetted form you see starts to get features. He's an older man with tan skin, a very tightly cropped white beard. He's strong and muscular, even though he wears wizard's robes. And as he looks upon you, he just gets a look that is meaning only one thing. You have delayed the inevitable. And the portal snaps shut in front of him. When this happens, all of the shadowed figures who were just starting to, be barely visible around, all wink out of existence as well. The lights that streak above in the night all fade and ripple out around you guys. But what you don't see a change in, however, is the portal on the outside. That perimeter that is drawn closer over this night as you've all been here together in the moment has drawn closer still. Your space and your time is still running out, although you have in fact stopped one aspect. You've maybe only delayed the inevitable. So, anything else you'd like to do, Malik?
Yeah, I'm going to use my movement to go right up to next to Sir Calbert, and he's just going to see my true visage, and I'm going to turn to him and go, I don't know how long that's going to stay the way to bring the dragon down.
Right, okay. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Kadara has you on her back, Elora, and she's going to shriek, "No, you fools!" She's going to just try to do this, try to get at you. She's going to attack you twice with her claws at disadvantage because you're on her back. So the first one is going to be, 12. Oh, no, I'm sorry, not 12. 14, which is probably still not going to hit. And then the second one is going to be a 21, though.
That one does hit.
Okay. You are going to take...
No, it doesn't. Silvery barbs.
Oh!
She already has disadvantage. Would silvery barbs do anything on top of that?
That's a good question.
She already has disadvantage?
She has disadvantage.
She had disadvantage.
I'm on the back.
At her. Yeah.
Oh.
You know what? I think there was... Yeah, you know what? There's a bunch of disadvantages going on here, too, because Calbert, yeah, now that you're close enough... how far is your disadvantage from your aura, Calbert? Does it reach up above the 50 feet that she is in the air?
Let me double check. I don't think so. I want to say it's 30 feet.
Okay.
Let me double check that. Yeah, 30 feet. So she is outside of that.
Okay, that's fine. What I was going to say, Ian, was the fact that because you gave up your facade in order to counterspell this, I was going to give you an inspiration. Would you like to maybe tweak that a little bit? And you want to give up your inspiration to have your silver barbs go off, I guess is what I'm trying to ask. Not really how inspiration works, but we're playing fast and loose with the rules here.
Yeah, we're playing. So what, if I use my inspiration, I save a spell slot?
No, you'll have the spell will still go off. It will give her, she'll have to roll again. Basically, she'll have double disadvantage, which is not really a rules thing.
Otherwise, I'd give mine up for that,
and then,
since it's on me.
Oh yeah, okay.
Yeah, no, well, because then what I'll do is so I'll use that inspiration to have the silvery bards go off, and then just like flavoring it because we're all adults here, and the relationship between her and I, just the skeleton hand slowly pans up in the camera and gives her the finger. just
All right.
Like if the camera was tight on Malik's face, it just slowly pans up with the finger.
Man, once bitten, twice shy. Here we go. Okay, so she's gonna roll again to see what happens here. Okay, it's actually higher than the one that she rolled before, so actually it's still going to be a 21 to hit. That's, you know what? That was awesome, though.
Take the advantage, though, Elora.
I was going to say, I'm sure Elora gets that advantage from that. So, Elora, she does manage to get you with the second claw. She is going to roll... Oh, I'm sorry. That is the wrong die. 4 plus 3 is 7 plus... You're going to take 13 points of damage as her claws rake into your back. Again, burning, searing pain. Please just make a strength check. Or athletics, if you have.
Well, yeah, she's not good at that, so that's a 10.
Okay.
Oh no.
Because of the pain, you fall off of her back. You are 50 feet in the air. I'm going to say that's going to be 2d6.
Can I use my inspiration then to roll advantage and maybe not fall off the dragon?
You know what? Yes, you can. Yes, you can.
Okay. Oh! Oh! Oh, that
So
was a
strong.
really good time for a nat 20, but because
Oh.
I am bad at strength, it's 19.
Oh, man, oh, man, oh, man. Okay, so you fight through the pain. You actually slip for a second, but you catch back onto the next spine of her back, right below it, and grip on tighter. It managed to hold on. So you're in a spot where she won't be able to reach you now. You're actually right
Oh,
behind
good.
her. So you're on her back still, and it is going to actually be, as part of that, she actually is going to move, and not because she's higher. She doesn't have any sort of attacks of opportunity or anything from these guys, as she flies directly over top of their heads and goes back over to where the fallen knight is.
10 feet slower.
10 feet slower, yeah, so she gets that far. You are still on her back, and I'm going to roll to see if her breath weapon comes back. Okay.
Yeah.
And so then it is going to be Alora's turn on her back.
Okay, Laura is in horrible shape. This
Mhm,
battle
yeah.
has been brutal, and so broken wrist and just barely managing to cling to this dragon. A plummet off of the back would surely mean death at this point. And so Elora is going to turn inward and use this moment to bring this calming energy she's learning to gain from her studies as a monk and summons her Kurash blade. This mystical glowing yellow energy appears glowing in her hand as this magnificent weapon, and she would like to just right into the dragon's neck plunge her blade
Alrighty.
into her.
Roll it,
Okay.
please.
So that was a dirty 20.
Oh, it does. It does. You swing it down and it bites square into her spine, right above her shoulder blades. It bites into her neck. She roars and screams in pain. What is the damage?
Oh, so that is going to be a d10. Oh, spicy. So 8. So 10 force, and then for the radiant on top. Oh, that's a 6 radiant on top.
Okay. And as it bites down into her neck, you on the ground see that the fiery, glowing blade right through her, blasts out through her throat. She gargles for a second, and then her eyes glaze over in death, and she starts to tumble down towards the ground. Elora, make a dexterity saving throw, please.
Oh, that's not great.
You don't happen to have another Misty Step, so you can just like teleport off.
Oh, well,
You
can
also
I
have
do
an
that as a
advantage. You
reaction?
have advantage.
Oh, I do have advantage still. Yeah, I guess Misty Step is an action, so having done my attack and my bonus action, I don't think that's right for
Misty
me to
Step's
get
not
to
gonna
do
be able
that.
to go off, but yeah, that's a good thought,
But the
though.
advantage is super helpful, so thank you for reminding me of that, because I was for sure going to fail it.
Oh,
Now
no.
I might not die. So that's going to be a 15 plus 2, so 17.
Okay. And as she starts
Wow.
to fall, you basically you disapparate the blade. You kind of just let go, and the light just winks out, and you let go. And as she falls, you jump and leap off to the side, and you land on the ground. Because you dive and you roll, and you succeeded with your dexterity save. You are just going to take 7 points of bludgeoning damage as you slam into the ground, which is still a lot, but it's better than what it could have been.
And with that, as Alora touches the ground, she locks eyes with both of you and just nods before she collapses unconscious.
Oh no, Alora!
All right.
Alrighty. Alora is in fact unconscious.
Well, dang.
And the dragon, she is basically half buried in the stone and the dirt of the top of this plateau as she just power dives right into it. She's very much dead. When she dies, you see the portal effect on the outside. Now, combat will be over. We're going to be in loose combat now. There's not going to be rounds anymore. You see the outside, it flickers, it shimmers, and then it starts to draw closer and closer and closer. In game terms, you would have about 4 rounds before it closes on you all and gets you all. So, we're not really in combat rounds, though. So, what do you all do?
Calbert is going to immediately wheel around on the horse again. He calls out, Malik, make sure the dragon is dead. But then he is going to zip over to Alora's side, hastily, if not gracefully, dismount. And I'm going to go ahead and burn... I'm going to burn 40 points from Lay on Hands.
Oh.
And get you back up and feeling better.
All right. So he reaches down, and Alora, you are drifting off into something at the dark, serene, calming effect of you failing away into death. Something reaches out, pulls you, something warm pulls you forward. You see that young man with the flaming hair. He gives you an award-winning smile as he pulls you back into the light, and you come back to, you are back amongst the world of the living. You're at 40 hit points, so you feel a lot better.
Nice.
Malik, what do? Do you approach the dragon's body, or do you do something else?
No, I go to the dragon's body and then like brandishing the hellfire rapier that just like etches out slowly. If I can be cinematic, it etches out slowly, and like there's just drips of fire that comes out of it as it comes out of his arm, and he wields it, walking up to the dragon and to inspect it, ready to stab if it blinks.
As you slowly step forward, there is a jazzy tune that you hear along the Dance Macabre, the unheard song of the dead that you can channel as a bard of this school of thought. As you approach, you see Kadara's form on the ground is that same beautiful woman that you had a night to remember with some time ago. You see there is dark blood that stains the front of her open gown. You can tell that she is very much dead, her lifeless eyes staring up at you. And as you look upon her, it's almost like part of that sinister nature of her, part of that siren that pulled you into a night that cursed you through your own choice, through your own volition, is kind of given away as well. It almost looks like this could be in another time, in another place. This could be a woman who perhaps you could have spent an actual life with. She looks almost innocent, I guess you could say, in this moment. But your cursed form still remains. You step forward, and the cold of the night doesn't affect you as you are burnt and flayed as you look down upon her.
Is there like a small, like a very small fleeting moment to where before she's fully gone, to where she's kind of still with us? I mean, like a half a hit point chance.
Roll a d20. Just straight.
17.
Yeah, as you step forward, you see as she looks unblinking, she looks like she's gone. You see her eyes just slowly blink, and she looks over towards you, and your eyes lock. She sees you. And you can see when she looks upon you, she doesn't recoil in fear. She doesn't look upon you as if she's seeing you with anger or with malice or as your burnt form. She's maybe seeing you.
Okay. I'm gonna quickly kneel down next to her, and I'm gonna go, I'm gonna keep my promise, but maybe not in the way that you would like. And I'm gonna take the Hellfire Rapier, and I'm just gonna kind of slowly lunge it in the side. And as that small bit of her passes away into where she's actually fully gone, her soul or whatever's left in it sucks into the rapier, and then it just glows, and the rapier goes back in his arm. It's a feature on the Hellfire Rapier to where, like, if I kill somebody, I get to
drain their soul.
Capture the soul.
Okay.
Yeah.
And as you feel her essence come out and become part of you in a different way. Your memory goes back to a jazzy night, bodies intertwined in a shadowy back room, and it's a moment of not unbridled passion and just a night. It's a moment of true love and connection between the two of you. Malik, please tell me, how many hit points do you currently have?
72.
72? Okay.
Yeah, 13. I had 13 hit points or temporary
From
hit
the
points,
temporary.
and then I had 3 from the I
Okay.
only took technically 3 damage.
72. Okay. I'm making a note.
Sure.
Elora, you come back, and like I said, you are back. You all are here in this moment. You see the portal effect, this light that is keeping you all here is slowly dwindling and coming in towards you all. Altira is going to crawl up towards you, and it's going to snuggle into your scarf onto the side of your face, Elora, and just give you a welcome back type of hug. And you all see that you all have just a brief moment. So what do you all want to do here?
Well, as Altra makes her appearance, you notice something different about her. This act of leaping on top of this terrible, terrifying dragon has caused the Yam Yam to change. And whereas before it just seemed like a plain, if strange, insect of some sorts, it now glows faintly with the similar golden light that seems to emanate from some of Elora's spells. And for those familiar with the Yam Yam, you realize that this first act of true radiance from Elora has caused her Yam Yam to lean more towards the side of good, and that is now reflected in the spirit of the Yam Yam as she comes into life.
Amazing. I love that. And your Yam Yam, I guess we could say, has a very insectile look to it, almost like a caterpillar or some sort of worm or something. Do we maybe in this moment see that it has metamorphosized at all, or does it look the same? Does it have anything different about it?
I'd say it looks the same, but whereas before it seemed awkward, shy, skittish, it now just seems comfortable with its oddities.
Oh, nice. I love it, as we all should be. So, I love it. And you are reunited. The three of you look upon each other. What do you do?
Malik, she is dead, yes? Fully, completely?
Oh yeah, very much so. Yeah, gone.
All right.
Gone. Yeah.
Dame Elora, you are with us again? You are all right?
Oh, no thanks to you. And like as she touches her cowl, you realize she's not reaching to grab it anymore.
All right. Well, Calbert is, glancing around at this, incoming purple wall, basically, sort of closing in around us, and he looks at the two of them and says, "You are more knowledgeable with all of this magic that has come upon us, identifying it, disrupting it. Do you think you can stop this, whatever it is, before it closes on us? Do you need
I thought
time?
that's what we did.
It seems hard to say.
Oh,
I'm pretty sure we stopped the like evil guy that was gonna come out of the portal. I don't really know what this was or what it's gonna do to us, but whatever happens, I hope we're still friends.
Would time help you with identifying this and stopping it? Attempt what you can.
I mean, I have
yeah.
counterspell and silvery
Minutes.
barbs.
I don't know about
I
minutes,
have-
but I can
okay.
buy you what time I can.
Cool. Just in character. Cool. I'm gonna detect magic.
Okay.
To see if I notice anything. This is real desperate right now.
Yes. You reach out, and the entire wall, the entire perimeter is bright almost blinding magic to you. It is all around, it is drawing in closer. Even the ground you stand upon in here is magical. And as you look with detect magic to see it all, parts of the ground, as you look at them, it's almost like you're shining some sort of light, some sort of black light that reveals things that can't be seen by the normal eye. As you look, you can see that the part of the field here might be part of the dance floor of the club. And as you turn, this over here might be part of the street outside. You continue to look, and that plateau is part of a billboard that overlooked. But then as you start to look, you see the keep partially restored around you as well. Tall, important, seeming like it is a structure that is going to withstand the test of time. You see that there are Iraqian people who move about and are druids, you can tell, like Ezo. And in fact, as you kill the dragon before she got to do anything, you see that there.
Yeah.
Hey, as you turn back to see, as you think about these druids, as you look over in that direction, you see Ezo stand the rest of the way up out of the grave. And as she looks at all of you, just smiles and waves at you all.
Oh, by Log's light, I am not going to worry about this right now.
No, it's cool.
Continues.
She's hanging out with us. This is like okay. So where we're standing is I heard this word before. I think some convergence. It's a thing where like all of
the
our
convergence
areas
of the
are
ley line.
as this like. Yes, the skeleton just trying to like do things. I think it was wonderful meeting the both of you. I hope we meet again. And then I'm gonna turn and just run into one of the sides.
Okay. Before you guys can react, Malik turns and sprints directly towards the side. And as he hits the side of it, he hits it, and there's that flex that it had before. And you see it kind of, and then he's through it. Malik, as you surge through the side of it, you feel yourself stumble, lose your footing for a moment, and then you see that you are back in the club, the Eterna. You look that there are people all around that are clapping. As you look, you realize you've entered in from the back room, and they're all clapping, and a spotlight clicks up onto the stage. On the stage, next to where you would sit on your stool and play the guitar, is a beautiful woman, Katarine, who is standing there next to a microphone. She smiles at you, welcoming you onto the stage for you to perform.
And I don't see Sir Calvert or Alora or anyone.
Who?
Oh. So with that being said, and just like for some reason, like he's forgetting something.
Mm-hmm.
He turns around, he looks, he blinks his eyes, and he stands up straight, he smiles, he grabs his guitar, and he goes out on stage.
There's a smooth, jazzy sound that follows you as you step up onto the stage and begin to play. The other two of you see that the edges are just continuing to, they've slowed a little bit, but they are continuing to still move in towards you both. You see that behind you, where Ezo's waving, they pass through her, and she just vanishes as they pass through her.
Laura, do you think it will be good or bad when that touches us?
Well, in theory, if we're from this time, we should be fine, right? I don't know. That sounds right. Will you be fine?
I know that I am from now, but I don't know what's happening here. This is all very much out of my understanding.
You don't think that we're getting summoned to the... What? No.
May I ask, Calbert, how many hit points do you currently have?
I currently have 69 hit points. I did make a joke about it in chat earlier.
Oh, okay, I missed that. And Alora,
Because
how
we're
many
all
do you have?
mature adults here.
Of course,
That's why.
that's why I didn't even notice it. I mean, I would never make that joke. Alora, how many do you have?
41.
41. Oh, nice. Okay. What do you guys do?
All right. Calbert doesn't know what's going on. He does not trust this. He is going to briefly use the last of his lay on hands on Alora to give her 5 more hit points. And then he is going to step forward and whisper, long have I been your sword. Now I must be your shield. And he plunges his sword blade first into the ground.
Oh, okay.
And a burst of radiance emanates from him, stronger than anything that he has shown so far during this night. It seems to be almost burning out of his body. And he is going to make use of the last ability from my subclass that I have not touched on. I'm going to use my sun globe. And a 15-foot radius globe of light emanates around him, completely blocking off any effects and movement from creatures from anything outside.
Nice. And Alora, from where you're standing, you see that as the portal, it's not really a portal, as the light is continuing to come in, you see the part that reaches the outside of his sphere of light stops. The rest of it's bending around it and starting to come in closer to you. And you see that just next to where the light is, almost like a mirror image of an unseen pane in the center of this area where you still exist, a break in that light, almost like a doorway that leads out into a dark night.
And I want to make sure that it's obvious, like, he does this with Alora inside of the globe with him.
Okay.
So you're saying we're kind of in our bubble and things kind of appear as they appear, but there's a doorway that looks like the night that would be any normal night in
As best you can tell.
here.
Yes,
Okay.
and as you're standing here seeing this, the rest of the light outside closes completely around the sphere, enclosing both of you in it. So you've got basically Calbert on a knee holding the sword directly behind him, which would be basically in front of you if you two were back to back. There is a shimmering opening in that portal as it wraps around the two of you completely. How long does the sphere last, Calbert?
So I was gonna say, by default, it lasts until the start of his next turn. And when he first does it, Calbert is standing. But after a few seconds pass, essentially, we get to the next turn. He does, like, one of his knees buckles.
Okay.
And he starts to drop to one knee as it becomes obvious that maintaining this sphere is taking a huge toll on his body and spirit.
Okay. Because of that,
And-
you're going to take 13 points of damage.
There is an effect for this.
Oh, an effect for the damage?
Yeah.
Okay,
Well,
sorry.
essentially, the way it works is I can maintain the globe each turn. It causes a level of exhaustion.
Oh, okay.
So
Okay,
I've
okay.
just hit the first level of exhaustion.
Okay, thank you for correcting me on that. Perfect. Alora, you can see that he's hurt. You can see that he is... You realize what he's doing. You realize this is a sacrifice he's making.
So Calbert, and she kind of looks at him and says, "You don't need to strain yourself. I think we're just going home." And so she offers a shy hand for him to take if he chooses.
How certain are you? I won't be corrupted.
I don't think Loun would let that happen to you. And she, like, gives him a smile that he recognizes. She's seen what he's now seen, that spirit of Loun. And I feel like a moment of understanding passes. Like, that bond could never be broken.
There's a moment where Calbert, he's like fallen to one knee, and as he's looking at Alora, offering this hand and offering that smile, his body tenses as though racked with more pain and exhaustion, and his other leg gives out. He drops to both knees, sort of clinging onto the sword. But he locks eyes with her and he says, "We stand together." And he is going to let go of the sword and take her offered hand, and then drop the sun globe.
And then Alora's gonna lead the two of them to the doorway she can see.
Okay. So as the sun globe begins to drop, you feel Alora a strong grasp now, not a meek and timid one that you have witnessed before the rest of this night. She pulls you to your feet and back towards the door. And as she passes through the doorway and you begin to pass through the door, the sphere drops away and the light behind you, this purple shimmering force, draws up, and right as you are getting pulled through it, it snaps up to the rest of the way of the doorway. Can I have both of you please make a charisma saving throw?
Oh! That's a nat 20.
Oh, yeah.
I got a 15 total.
Okay. And as you pass through the doorway, you both step out onto the dark night of Nier. You can tell it's the same area, it's the same place. And as the two of you have your eyes kind of adjust to the difference of the light here, you look around, you can see the plateau is nearby. Izo's no longer standing on top of it. You look around, you don't see Malik. He seems to have been gone from whatever he did running through. The two of you look around, all of that purple energy, that shimmering light is gone. And behind you, you see the ruins of the keep still where you left them. You see all of the signs of everything that happened tonight seem to be cleared away. It's almost as if you all were never here tonight. And as you have gone through, you turn back to each other. You realize in this moment, Alora, that he took your hand. You don't feel his hand right now. And you look down, you're still holding it. But you don't feel it. You look up towards him, and he is slightly opaque, like he's not maybe all the way here.
Calbert? Is everything all right?
You see her, you hear her.
I'm tired, but I'm here.
And you're gonna stay here, right?
I certainly intend to.
The one thing that you know for sure, Calbert, you are definitely staying here at this keep.
I don't know if I can leave.
What? Why can't you leave?
I think some part of me is drawn here, or perhaps kept here. I don't know. Laun has some need of me to stay in this place, I gather. It feels like I can't walk away. There is work undone.
Can I do an Arcana or Insight check on that one?
Sure, you can make either.
Okay. We'll do Arcana because that's better. So that's going to be a 20. Let's see. Yeah, 23.
Okay. Knowing what you know about the area, about the fact that there's a ley line here, about the fact that there was several different effects of spear magic being casted here because of all that's happened, because of the fact that you saw Laun here, because of the fact that you know that Calbert was basically making a sacrifice to help what's going on here, you get an arcane insight that basically what has happened is sphere magic has been casted in this area one last time. Calbert returned you home and gave up the last bit of himself to do so.
this is just too many feelings. Okay. Processing that. Okay. And stunned to silence, at once, like, so totally admirational that a human person or a spirit or whatever this may be, to give up all of that drive and mission to get someone like her home, it just floors her. But at the same time, she's inspired by that amount of courage and what it takes to be that kind of person. And as Alora reflects on everything she's seen Calbert do and sacrifice to get us here, to get her here, she hesitates for a moment because she's shy, and this is not something she's ever done before, but she leans in and just gives him a soft kiss and whispers, "You are a more honorable knight than you will ever know."
There is a light that illuminates from behind him, almost supernatural. And you know, although you do not see the young man, you know it's Loun watching over, giving his blessing on this moment. And you know that this is an ending of a sort. As you stand there, Alora, you can feel that the energy, the magic, whatever it was that made you all feel like you had to stay here, doesn't really have an effect on you anymore. You feel that wanderlust, that need to go out and adventure, to have a life, to do things. You feel that come back in, and Altira comes up, sitting on your shoulder, coos, rubs up on the side of your neck. But Calbert, you see something a little bit different. The area all around you looks the same, but now you notice very faint lines that all spread out from the point between you and Elora, the ley lines of the area that all converge in this specific spot. And you know that there is a certain distance that they all go, and you'll be able to traverse and walk those paths. It's eternal guardian at this point. You're muted.
He glances down and he sees that, and he, realizes what has happened here and that it is the end of the road for him in terms of accompanying these companions. And he, gives Elora a smile at her own gesture and words, and he says, "Dame Elora, you have many roads of your own to wander now. And it is true that you are not your mother. You are a far greater knight in your own name."
And doesn't reply with words, just a soft look in the eyes and a shy smile. And she knows what he means.
Okay.
And Calbert stands with some effort and, picks up his sword and sheathes it and gives her one final nod and turns and begins walking one of those ley lines.
And as he does, Elora, you see him just fade into the shadows. You look off into the night. You know that there are indeed other adventures, other tales to be told. It seems like weeks since you arrived at these ruined sites, but it's been just a single night that all of this has happened. You have met these people. You've lost now 3 companions to various methods. You have gained part of yourself, however. Some of your shyness kind of gives away a little bit. Your Karash training, is earned. It feels right now. And that part of you that is a monk is strangely calm and at peace with what has happened here tonight. So, Elora, as we close out the session tonight, what do you do with this open choice of the world of Nier ahead of you?
Well, just kind of feeling touched by everything that's happened and all the stories she's heard, a story comes to her that she hasn't thought of for a while of Edgar, the man who raised Elora for lack of a mother, and how he always wanted to take her to the crater of boiling fire. And so, with whimsy and wonder in her step, Elora makes her way to a place she's never been, but is not afraid to go to anymore.
Absolutely. And as we see a lone figure drift off back towards the south, towards the Lake of Boiling Fire, our tale tonight comes to an end. Thank you all so very much for joining us for yet another installment of La Notte Eterna. This was part 4 of 4 of the Spheres of Influence. I am blown away and touched so much by how you guys have played this. This has been amazing, amazing stuff. So thank you all for that. I want to say real quick, also, thank you everybody at home for tuning in and hanging out. You know, we tell these tales for you guys, so we're glad that you guys have been here with us. If you like what you've heard, consider, subscribing, maybe get some friends, send them on over. All of our back episodes as well can also be found on YouTube, and they'll soon be coming on a special marathon we're going to start here in December. They're going to be re-streamed here on the channel in kind of format a little more of a long-term place here. Like, the Eternal Guardians such as Sir Calbert, they're going to be here too. But more on that a little bit later. But I want to say thank you all to that. I want to say also, if you did like what you saw, you can venture into Nier as well. Go to the link tree above Annika's head or into the links down in below. You can get the quick start guide, which has details about some of the things our characters here were playing. Also has a sample adventure where you could start in the world of Nier that actually has direct ties to our tale here on Twitch. It's all interconnected. And also, you can get information about the setting. You can get the full list of the rules on the pre-order, which is on BackerKit right now. And I can only recommend that you do so because it is amazing, amazing stuff. I want to thank Tabletop Audio for the music that's been playing all night. Neutral Party for the map that we use for our cool epic battle. I want to thank, of course, Miko for behind the scenes, who has been running this thing, even though he's got a fever and is super dog tired and sick. He is the man. He's a machine. I got to be honest. He makes us look easy. And again, I want to thank all of you sitting here with me. It's sad that we lost one of our players midstream as her character didn't make it with us. But Katie, lady, we love you. You are amazing too, and you were here in spirit and definitely got to have your own little goodbye. So let's go around, and before a couple last minute announcements here in a second, let's have everybody say who they are and where else you could find them, because they're not just here guest starring on La Notte Eterna, they are other places as well tearing up the internet. Let's start. Actually, we're going to go in reverse because you know what? Time is back to normal. Let's start with Ian. Hey, buddy. Thanks for being here, man. Can you tell us what all you doing, man? You got tons of stuff you're up to. I can't even begin to list it all.
Were you talking about me? My headphones were cutting in and out.
Oh no! Yeah, Ian, tell us who you are, my friend. Tell us where we can find you, buddy.
Okay. That was like my biggest fear. I was like, I hope he's not calling for me. Hey,
indeed, I was.
Right. Hey, everybody. I'm Ian, or your boy Big on all social media. I played Malik, the Dance Macabre Bard. This was such a fun story to play. It was awesome. Just how everything came together. Thank you again, Kevin. Thank you again, Miko, for making us all look good and sound good. But yeah, if you want to see what more I'm doing, definitely follow my Twitter. I got a lot of stuff coming up down the pipeline. My standards, of course, Sundays will be on the Magic RPG channel, playing in their Icewind Dale campaign. Third season of that's been a lot of fun. Wednesdays, I will be, of course, on the Wanderer's Haven channel with the most recent arc for Hysteria, playing Kettle, who's jumping in now, and I'm super excited to get into that. Every cast has been amazing, and I'm so happy and so lucky to be a part of that as well. Thursdays, for the next 2 weeks, you can see me over hanging out with Bleak. at Guild Superior, playing in their Shadowrun game. And yeah, I got a lot of other stuff. If you don't like my face but like to hear my voice, you can definitely hit me up on any major podcasting platforms, on the Emergent Code podcast, which is a Digimon themed actual play podcast. And if you want something that's a little bit more spicy, a little bit more sultry, you can hit me up on the Fan Game podcast as we play a little VTM. So whoo.
Yeah, buddy. Hey, he's up to a lot, and you can see why after tonight. Amazing role player, great guy. Honestly, if you're somebody who runs a stream and you're watching tonight, get him on your channel. He's awesome. I'm not even sugarcoating it. It's amazing. Ian, thank you so very much for bringing such an amazing life to Malik and having all the cool twists and turns that we got to do. I really appreciate it, my friend. Thank you. It was a great chapter in Notte Eterna history. Thank you so much. Katie O'Lady is the blanked out character. As I said, you can find her as her Twitter is linked down there below. She played Izo. She is a role player who does a bunch of different stuff elsewhere as well, including on Crossroads and also on the, what's it called? Dice? Oh, I think I would have remembered. She's on a podcast, something Dice. Sorry about that. But anyway, she's awesome. Check her out too as well. She is on the first 2 episodes of the arc if you want to see what she got to do as Izo, who stole all of our hearts, and we're sad she was not here in the flesh. But thank you so much, Katie. You were definitely here in memory. Going on over to Brian, who will forever, of course, be here in memory, Sir Calbert. Brian, you do a lot as well, too, my friend. Tell us a little bit about what you're up to out there, my friend.
Yeah, I mean, I try to do a lot. I've done a lot. I'm Brian. I'm Helix Missionary on socials.
Yeah, baby.
And you can find the main thing sort of tabletop related directly that I've done in the past, other than some guest appearances elsewhere. I've done some stuff with Kevin before. But the bread and butter of what I have done, you can find in a podcast called 2 Weeks, 1 Shot, or Two's Cast, TWOS Cast. We're on all the major platforms, wherever you want to listen to us. And we do a lot of sort of bite-sized adventure arcs like this. So 3-4 episodes, trying out a whole bunch of different games, making a lot of jokes along the way, sometimes some heartfelt moments too. We get those every now and then, mostly the jokes. But it's a really good time, and it highlights a lot of different cool systems that are out there. So definitely, give that a listen if you want. Otherwise, sometimes you'll catch me erratically on Twitch or other places. I'm hoping to start being a little more stable with some of that coming up. And I'll definitely say it for myself that if you like what I did here and you want me to be part of anything, I am always happy to be part of anything with anybody, because I like doing this and it's a lot of fun. And, nights like this are why I do it, because what a story, what an ending. Absolutely phenomenal. Thank you, Kevin.
Thank you, Brian. I appreciate you, buddy. I really do. Brian and I have done some other stuff before, and it's always a pleasure sharing a table with you, man. Honestly, I love it. So thank you very much for that. It means a lot. Finally, let's end everything off with our soul survivor. Hi, Annika. Welcome. You don't have to say welcome. You've been here. I can tell everybody where they can find you, because you do other stuff as well. I mean, we're all everywhere. Make sure you talk about Obajima. So,
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah. So, my name is Annika. Tonight I was playing Elora, an Eldritch Knight with a little bit of a monk thrown into there, and it was really cool to play someone like her. Her moves from the Kurash Knight were really cool, so definitely recommend taking a look at the Notte Eterna content there. I actually got to speak with James, and he was so nice. It was great.
Awesome.
Anyways. My next thing actually isn't until the 29th, when I will actually be at Kevin's table again, doing a spooky Halloween one-shot that will make you shiver. And then the day after, I will be again on Wanderer's Haven, where Shiver will take place, but I will be debuting as a GM on live streaming. So even though I've done that before in the real world, I've never done it in this platform, so I'm excited to showcase the Obojima Tales of the Tall Grass playtest content from 1985 games, which just recently got funded on Kickstarter. And then from there, we get into November, where on November 4th, Wanderer's Haven is doing a charity event, and where they're going to be doing a series of one-shots, and you should definitely take a look at that. And I will be playing a cat in that one, so I'm really excited about that.
Oh, yeah.
But I think that's enough for now.
Awesome. Yeah, but like I said, thank you so much, Annika. This has been a pleasure. I can't wait to hopefully see Alora show back up in the world of Nier. Who knows? There's always possibility for doors to open, paths to cross, to fates to intertwine. But Annika, this was amazing. Thank you so very much. I appreciate having you here. So thank you. Finally, I'm Kevin. I can be found online at the socials at KevRan Games. I am here as the main U.S. ambassador for Notte Eterna, as well as the Dungeon Master for the channel. You can also see me on the socials. I manage the Twitter and some other things as well. And you're going to see me out there and about. We're going to be doing some touring stuff where I get to play some Notte Eterna stuff at gaming stores, and next year maybe even some conventions, which will be super fun. But like I said, if you like Notte Eterna, please check it out. There's a Patreon listed below. There's all kinds of other links and stuff. It's a really cool setting. I have had a blast telling these stories with everybody. When I'm not here, I am on Wanderer's Haven. I'm one of the co-producers over there, part of the production team, along with Miko, who is off the screen right now, and Beth Masco, who you've seen here on the channel playing several different characters. We work with Jeremy, super awesome, cool guy. It's all about telling new cool tales with new cool systems with new cool people. So you should check it out. It's right here on Twitch and also on YouTube. As Annika said, there's lots of stuff we do over there. We'll be playing some cool games. And I do want to mention that on the 4th, we're doing a fundraiser over there. Very cool stuff for Extra Life, which is super important cause for us to make sure that we draw attention to. But with Notte Eterna news, I want to tell you all that we have something very special next week. We have the first ever Notte Eterna special Halloween episode. That's right, babies. It's a special one-shot. Next Friday, Halloween episode, going to be called To Hunt Monsters. And who best to hunt monsters? The monsters themselves. That's right. Our characters were inadvertently all mirrored after famous Universal monster characters. We've got a wolf monster character, we've got an invisible character, we've got someone who's like a Frankenstein monster, we've got a medium. It's going to be slick as they hunt down a strange beast that is stalking the town of Ravens Bluff. It's going to be amazing. So yeah, come check us out and make sure you do that. And then the time right after that, we're going to be starting not one, 2 arcs in November, baby. We have a special pirate seafaring game that's going to be 3 different weekends. And we're going to close out the season this year with a return to the Blood Domain. And we had a lot of cool feedback from the Blood Domain arc that we did, where our characters are fighting aristocratic butthole vampires that were very nasty to them. And it ended on a little bit of a cliffhanger, and we're going back to make sure it gets resolved. So we're going to see lots of cool stuff with that. Did I just say butthole vampires? Oh, that's going to get us flagged. But thank you all so very much for listening. Sorry for taking the long, drawn-out talk here at the end, but we just want you all to know where we're at and that we love you all. So we're going to go ahead. We're going to raid some folks tonight because we love to do that. Make sure you all are following some cool other folks out there. We're going on over to Lost Caravan RPG. Right now they're playing one of my other favorite games, Call of Cthulhu, baby. They're telling a cool, mysterious tale, much like we did tonight. So check them out. And we'll see you all next week as we do some spooky Halloween stuff. So thank you all very much. Until next time, may the moon smile upon you. Good night.